Welcome along to everyone in this Watchalong, the first one of 2024, the men's that is, because I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun watching the Watchalong of the India-Australia women's series, but it's the men's, and in fact, it's their last series before the World Cup in June. Yes, if you're wondering how the BCCI mapped the schedule like this, only they can. There's so much to talk about, and forget me in the show, because we have two cracker-jackers of gentlemen in terms of CDC's finest. Gurkirat, who's fashionably late, but the former word being important, fashionably being the key word there. And Somesh Agarwal, dressed in white to talk all things black in Indian cricket, funnily enough. Som, we'll start with you. You're looking forward to the series by the looks of how things were yesterday in office with you.
Yeah, of course I am. And why shouldn't I be? Like you said, some people have been talking about how this is irrelevant because India are playing Afghanistan. But let's be fair. I mean, the important consideration in terms of squad construction is to play your first 11 together as often as possible for you to realize what that actually is. And with India, it's largely the case that you don't often get that. And even right now, I mean, with no Hardik, no Bumrah, no Sky, this is nowhere near the first 11 that India would want to field, 5 months down the line, 6 months down the line. But yeah, I mean, whatever questions that can be answered through the course of the series, more than welcome.
Yeah, they're probably a million miles away from their best 11, and who knows what's going to happen come June, because even the IPL will tell us a lot of answers. Now, Adnan Shahid, good to see you in the comments, saying, Gurkirat Paji ko lao, Jadugar Avnish is here, La Dia, Gurkirat, how's it going? Good to see you, man. It's been a while since we've done a show. It feels ages, actually. And Noodle just going on a bit cheeky, saying, Paji, dedication, OP in sweaty coat for the last 5 hours. I hope it's not a 5-hour game. But Paji, nonetheless, how are you?
I'm good, and the weather's in Delhi. In Delhi's fine for a coat. It's not something that you'd mind wearing. Yeah, I've been good. I'm doing a show with you after exactly 1 week because the test match got over on 4th, and yeah, so good. Looking forward to the series, yeah, but one theme that is constant in Indian cricket right now is the more things change, the more they remain the same. uh, you you could talk of their issues, like the Indian team has been struggling to post totals while batting first in T20s, but regardless of who the captain is, they always choose to bowl.
Look, I'll tell you what, India have won a toss, apparently shattering a record of 11 lost tosses. So well done, Rohit Sharma. At least good omens for today. And we'll get into a lot of things this watch along. So if you're just joining us, first and foremost, rules, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, like this particular video, tell a friend about cricket.com, because we're going to be doing so many watch alongs. It's not even thinkable, because the WPL, the IPL, the men's T20 World Cup, the women's T20 World Cup, we will be here. So, of course, subscribe and press the bell icon and like it, because all you guys are good to see. Hello to you, Tanmay. And Noodle Hacks, we're going to say, Somesh, welcome, long time no see. We're going to get Somesh in bits and bobs. We're going to use him well. And I'm going to start the conversation with Som. Even though Afghanistan are batting right now, we'll talk about the action as it goes forward, because it is a watch along at the end of the day. But Som, you're just consensus about this squad that India have selected. For the people who are, of course, hearing you in the new year, what's your whole take with Rohit and Virat? Have India taken a step forward or gone 2 steps back?
Yeah, so I mean, Gurkirat used a phrase which is apt here, that more the things change, they're remaining the same. I mean, no matter who the selectors are, no matter which management this team is playing under, they keep on going back to the same people. There is still one more guy who can be added later on based on how the IPL goes. But in terms of my opinion, I wholeheartedly disagree with the selection of both. It's not one or the other. But yeah, so I mean, but it is what it is. This blatantly means that when both Rohit and Kohli are in the 11, which they will be because they are part of the squad, the team can actually pick only one of Gill, Jaiswal or Rinku. So it's very hard to see how things will work out. I mean, it's a T20 World Cup. The team is still being selected by performances in other formats. Uh, there is no real argument to make in favor of Rohit about he's done absolutely nothing to be a part of this team. To be very very honest, and for Virat as well. Although he's done well in T20 World Cups, definitely he's the probably the best batter in T20 World Cups ever, and he always ends up having very good IPL. Part of the reason because he plays 8 games in Chinnaswamy. I mean, let's not forget it. It is what it is. I mean, if his home venue would have been Chennai or maybe Lucknow, the stats would have been completely different. But let's face it, he ends up having good IPL more often than not. But then the kind of people that he will keep out, it's not like Kohli has done better than them. So again, like I said, analytically, I don't agree with either. If I still have to pick, I'll pick Kohli over Rohit any day. And overall, I feel there is room for only one anchorish player in the 11. And if India really had to pick one in the 11, I would have probably picked Kohli. But that means that no Rohit, no Gill, Kohli opening with Jaiswal. With then we can discuss the 11 moving forward.
Gurkinath, I would love to, of course, point out a few things that you said in the WhatsApp chat, but I wouldn't do that because the benefit of just good old friends, bro. And I'll just come to your thoughts about Roku because I know you have a lot to say and some really valid points. But just to come back to Som really quickly, do you think they've just chosen Rohit purely because Hardik is injured and they see him as a captaincy filler more than as a
Absolutely. So
aggressive
this is
opener?
something that I actually I was discussing with you guys that maybe this is a scenario where they've realized that maybe Hardik might not be fit for the World Cup as well. So they need to have someone who is a captain prepared enough to represent India in the tournament. That may be the case, but again, that's not a very valid argument. They can still sort of take a punt because the last time India won a T20 World Cup was when a captaincy punt was taken for someone. So yeah, I mean, all in all, no, absolutely no valid argument in favor of Rohit, to be honest, apart from the fact that he had a very, very good ODI World Cup. But then again, it's not an apples to apples comparison.
All right. First ball, by the way, in Mohali, if you're joining us in this watch along, we're watching it in Sports 18, all three of us, that is. So we're well ahead of all you folks on Geo. And Introspect has some good questions, and the rest of you all do as well. But I want to get Gurkirat right now on this whole squad, Rohit and Virat. I mean, is there any sense, even the diehard Rohit and Virat fans, can you be their advocate for 1 minute, 2 minutes to make sense out of this?
See, Rohit's not among the top 30 T20 players in the country. Let's put it that way. Uh, I don't agree on the captaincy bit as well. See, Surya would have been back because he's injured. And funnily enough, that press release that came, it also did not mention why Surya's out. So it's something that we have deciphered or inferred that okay, he's injured. And on the captaincy bit, in the last 2 years, post the 2021 World T20, we have had what? We've had, I think, 3 or 4 captains in T20s. We've had Rohit, we have had Hardik, we have had Bumrah captain for 2 games, we have had Sky captain, and I'm not sure if KL captain in T20s or not. I don't think that the brand of cricket that has been played by the Indian team has been any different under any captain. So I don't buy that logic also. You could have any captain because whenever you've had a new captain, what the new captain has tried to do is try and take the easy way out, win the toss, choose to bowl, and then finish the game, right? So that you get a W against your name. So I don't buy that. And honestly, yeah, I've had this conversation. I've had this viewpoint that Rohit's probably a good executioner in terms of if you give him a plan or give him an idea, but not really someone who's thought of things on his own. That's my view. So I don't buy that. As far as Virat's concerned, I remember when I just joined CDC, it was July 2022 when the Australian World T20 was around the corner. And at that point of time, I said that yes, the way he plays is probably, becoming a little outdated, but you need him in Australia because of his game against pace. From the pitches that I've seen in West Indies, I am not really convinced if India really need. But you need him in Australia because of his game against pace. What just happened? Some echo. But okay, so I'm not convinced that his game against spin is going to be as good. If you still want to play him, if you still want to play him for the experience, you play him as an opener. But with Rohit being there, you're not going to do that. And why now we know that Indian cricket is functioning more on reputations. If you have Rohit right now in the squad, he will probably play the World T20 as well. And it's really sad that it was never announced that Hardik will be the full time captain, and it's also not fair because if you really wanted to bring back Rohit and Virat in the scheme of T20 things, they should have played the series versus South Africa. It's really not fair. And there have been a lot of selection blunders. We have seen time and again Shreyas Iyer comes back into the mix only to get dropped before the World T20. There was no business of him playing those two T20s versus Australia. Then he did not play, I think, any of the T20s versus South Africa, and now he's out again. So if you had Virat Kohli in your plans anyway, there was no need to bring him. Just should have asked him to play at number three. So a lot of mess which has been created, which I also feel was completely avoidable. But yeah, this is why one of the reasons sometimes when you ask me that why are you not positive or why are you pessimistic, this is why, because I genuinely think that whatever Indian cricket or Indian cricketers achieve, they're not because of the system, but they are despite the system, because the system is not offering any clarity to anyone, not even to the players. We have read what happened with the Shan Kishan as well.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you made your point over there, Paji, and right now, Paji's made his point, and it's a way made no, which is whizzed by the way. With
It
regards
was
to
a
India,
KL meanwhile.
yeah, 100%. So I'll come to you because there are lots of questions, and many people are having their insights and thoughts about this. Greg goes on to say both Rohit and Kohli have decided themselves that they want to retire after winning a trophy. Selfish behavior, keeping youngsters away again and destroying their confidence. It's India. When a superstar says he wants to play, he plays, period. And AA spitting facts, absolutely. And Mohammad Irfan going on to say it's easy to remove both VK and Rohit in the name of young blood for the team India, but it's difficult to remove VK alone on the basis of his T20 international performance. Som, do you agree with that? The fact that Virat has credit in the bank with regards to T20 internationals, or do you put that in the bid?
Yeah, but there has to be an expiry date to everything, right? Everyone has a, I mean, every great cricketer always carries that credit in the bank till the very end. But you have to understand that this, the thing that any legend brings to the table, is it the thing that the team is missing right now? Is he providing the right balance? Which is the more important question to ask. And where what I feel is, like, I've been harping upon this, and all of us seem to agree as well, that, I mean, recently Kohli in T20s have worked better as an opener and not as a number three. So if India are looking at him as an opening option, then I'm okay to buy it. But if India continue to play him at number three, then I think they are sort of setting themselves up for failure because of Kohli's, I won't say weakness against spin, because the point is he has set the bar so high that his weakness would still be an average of 40. But his sort of not being able to attack spin, at least when he wants to and when the team needs to, is the biggest sort of drawback against his T20 game. But then again, if India are playing Kohli as an opener, his partner has to be Yashasvi Jaiswal at the other end. I mean, Jaiswal has done everything right to earn that spot, and which is something which is very heartbreaking that he's not part of today. It's said that he's injured. Although I totally agree with this 11. By the way, it's as good an 11 as they could have made out of the squad. The only thing that I would have liked them to play Jaiswal over Gill, but then Jaiswal is said to be ill. But come to the World Cup, I'm more than okay if Kohli is opening along with Jaiswal. But
Yeah,
then again, that leaves no room for Rohit. And
correct.
no
I
room
mean,
for Gill, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, or those sort of players who still have that wicket preservation mindset.
fair enough. I
And
mean,
and
let's just
I
quickly
personally
ask.
feel that KL Rahul is what, 400 or 450 runs,
Yeah,
400 or 450 run IPL season away from
absolutely. This is what I
that
said. I mean,
being
there is only
the
one,
World Cup squad.
there is only one player missing who might end up being in the World Cup squad, and that name is actually KL Rahul, which I said early on that, yeah, I mean, we can still leave room for him to come back. I
Yeah, I
won't be
mean,
surprised.
Relaxing at five itself, KL is in T20 far better than Rohit. I want to give Adnan's question to Gurkirat because it's similar lines of Rohit and Virat as batters and in this format. Meanwhile, 6 for none, Afghanistan 1.5, and Mukesh is partnering Arshdeep in the attack right now. And like we keep saying, Mohali is super cold. So what's this space? And if you guys are just joining us, we're going to be there for the next 3 hours. Get in your questions. We can talk about anything. What do you dislike about the Indian team right now? And speaking of like and dislike, like the channel. Gurkirat answer Adnan Shahid, and it's something that Somesh was just talking about as well. He goes on to ask you, why do people put VK and Rohit in the same bracket when we talk about T20 cricket? The last three T20 World Cups and IPL from the last 3 years are enough to suggest that Virat, the T20 batter, is miles ahead of Rohit. So, where do you stand in Virat? And do you think that spin susceptibility will actually not get him a gig in the World Cup, or do you think that's bullshit?
No. They shouldn't be clubbed together. I think that they are only clubbed together because of their ages, and that is the only way you can sort of make a case for Rohit. That's about it. I don't think they can be clubbed together in any format. Even as good as Rohit has been in ODI cricket, is not been Virat in ODI cricket stands tall and above everyone. Let's be very fair about it. Uh, and yeah, no one should idly be clubbing them together. In fact, very funnily enough, the day squad was announced, I put out a tweet. Even that was misinterpreted as something, clubbing together. Where I said that if you have Rohit back in the squad, then you have no logic to not get Virat back into the
Yeah.
squad. And if you really want to further that, extend that logic, then you can make a case for, why is Bhuvneshwar Kumar not there? Because Bhuvneshwar Kumar is at least doing one role right, right? At this point of time, Indian team is struggling with pacers who are not offering control. It's not a selection that I am saying should happen. I'm just saying by similar logic, then you can make a case for Bhuvneshwar Kumar as well. Maybe then you can make a case for Yuzvendra Chahal also. So yeah, it's disappointing and unfortunate. I'll be very very honest, because it's also unfair to all those players who are playing and sort of auditioning and doing well. Now, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Sanju Samson, and Akshar Patel. Oh,
Short, yeah.
short. Yeah. Now, if you look at these three players, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Akshar Patel, and Sanju Samson, they are doing whatever they can, but they end up missing out on the squad because of reputations of cricketers, because reputations of those who they are competing with, right? Akshar Patel gets. I still feel that Akshar Patel could go out and Ravindra Jadeja could come back for the World T20. Okay,
Okay.
that is also a possibility, again on the basis of reputations. Sanju Samson wasn't a part of the T20 squad versus Australia. Now he's part of the squad, but he's not playing, and we know what happened in the ODI World Cup as well. Similarly, Ruturaj Gaikwad has been in and out of the side. He's played some 3 or 4 ODIs, and I think all of not any of them together. And now he's out again because, okay, two seniors have come back. You have to make way, so he's out again. So these three cricketers are probably uh, they've probably suffered the most in the last couple of years because of this tendency to stick with reputations and go with experience. These three
They've
have suffered the most.
those three basically have been fillers with regards to all due respect. I mean, whenever
Yeah,
you
they've
want them
been
to,
fillers. And see, right now, you could be a part of this. You could be fillers in the 11, but they're not making the squad also. They're not making the squad also. Akshar was, last minute replacement, was replaced last minute. And while the World Cup was on, he was playing the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. So
hmm.
it's happened twice with him now.
Okay. By the way, I just want to come to Som right now. Before that, Chun Chun Kelunga, please don't spam the chat. We'll take your comments and questions. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I can't really tell what that picture is, but I'll try to guess it over the course of time. And Tiger Rose, good to see you as well. You go and say it. I think Kohli can play even till 2026 if he wants. Oh, he's put it down. What a chance. Who's
I
the
don't think it
culprit?
carried. I'm not sure if it carried.
Oh, it carried for
I
sure.
think it
By the
did. I
look,
think it did. Yeah.
Shivam Dube. I mean, I know
No,
it's cold out there.
oh,
Why does Shivam Dube look like a yesteryear Hindi hero in terms of haircut and facade? He looks like,
I think
um,
Chal वैसी है. Also, he doesn't
yeah,
come
it
across
carried.
as someone. I also think he doesn't come across as someone who's very agile.
but I mean,
Moves.
Shivam Dube dropping catches is not new. It happens in
Yeah.
IPL as well, a lot.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason why CSK was subbing him out
Yeah,
during the IPL.
I wonder if Shivam Dube does bowl today because it is cold. So maybe just an over just to
he
see
has
how
to.
he
I mean,
goes.
otherwise it would be very difficult to justify his place
Yeah, but they might just get away with it and be like, yeah, we were just expecting him to
right
like,
now. But in the longer run, they should be giving Shivam Dube a ball. I mean, of course, they
I
might not choose to because they want to win this damn thing first.
I
no,
don't think
absolutely.
Shivam Dube will make the World Cup squad. He's
Okay,
also, to
interesting.
be very fair, to be very fair to him, he's also not gotten enough chances after a good IPL. He played
But
some. I think
he
he
might
He
end
played
up.
played. He played the
51.
Australia series, but he didn't play a game. I think he's part of the squad, but he didn't play a game.
I consider the scenario
He
of Hardik
didn't play
Pandya
a.
is not fit for the World Cup. You have to pick someone.
Exactly.
There is no other
Yeah.
option.
If Hardik
They,
is, yeah, I agree.
You need someone who at least can roll his arm for 1 over. Otherwise, your
That,
top six would be like no one can bowl unless and until you're okay to sacrifice Rinku,
yeah, which is
which would be like
or
the
they,
last
blunder in
or
season.
they'll
the
probably,
blunder.
or they'll probably ask Yashasvi to bowl, because I'm considering that, if Rohit and Rohit and Virat are there, the logical thing, it's not logical, but the one that should make way between Yashasvi and Gill should be Gill. So I'm considering your top four is Yashasvi, Rohit, Virat, Surya. That is your top four, with Jitesh or one of the keepers being number five or number six, with the other batter being Rinku. So that becomes your top six.
And Pandya.
And then no, that is in the scenario in which Pandya is not fit.
Hmm.
If Pandya is fit, then anyway you are missing
So
out
your top
on
six essentially has only one batter who gives you
can
the
bowl. You can
can
bowl.
do. I mean, can
Which
just
is
roll his arm. He's
which
not
is
bowled at all.
yeah, which is why this selection of Rohit and Virat makes it even more problematic. You cannot even fit in Tilak. You
Yeah.
cannot even fit
Exactly.
in Tilak. So it is, see, without mincing any words, it is giving more importance to individuals than the team structure itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if, let's say in the scenario where
Four.
Hardik is picked, sure, of four more,
Yeah.
finally
If Hardik is,
gets a
go on.
boundary. So let's say if Hardik is back, you have to choose between dropping Jaiswal or Rinku. Which either
Exactly.
way, see, Gill is already out. When Hardik is back, you have to choose between one of Jaiswal or Rinku, because you can drop Jaiswal and push Kohli to open. That makes Sky 3, Hardik 4, Rinku 5, Jitesh 6, and so on.
It
Otherwise, you'll have
really,
to drop
yeah,
Rinku. I mean, it's I don't even have words.
no, it really leaves a void indeed. Oh, and there's a slippage at the non-strikers end, but doesn't cost Afghanistan. But 21 for none, 3.5, by the way. Get in your comments. We'll take them one by one. I know I haven't taken a few. Sachin Upadhyay, good to see you this evening. And please like this video. We're aiming for at least 100 likes in this year's watch along. Now, we spoke about Hardik, and it's the perfect time to do this and plug in that particular um, combination analysis piece, whatever you want to call it, from our Shubh Agarwal, and he goes on to, of course, talk about it in terms of the written text. Go check it out. It's available on the cricket.com website and the app right now. And that's the inevitable question that I want to ask Gurkirat and Som over the course of this watch along, because you never know about when Hardik Pandya is going to return. The rumor is about, even with the IPL, he's going to miss the first 3-4 games. And what are the chances of him playing those 7 games in a really high octane tempo to get himself fit for that 5th June clash against Ireland? Only time will tell. But just to finish up on this, cricket.com is the place to be in terms of written stuff as well. So go on and do not feel shy to give an app the download as well, because it's absolutely brilliant. We'll take some more questions right now, but really quickly on that Hardik Pandya bit, and it makes you think about the captaincy, because we're not just losing an all-rounder, we're losing a captain. Does that literally mean, Gurkirat, if Hardik Pandya misses out, then they automatically name Rohit Sharma as the T20 World Cup captain?
Yeah, that's how it looks like. But it's something which I've had a lot of say even during the IPL, that I don't feel that in modern day T20. I genuinely don't feel that in modern day T20 the captains out there are playing a huge role. They should be, but I don't think they are. I think they are going in with set plans and plan A, plan B, because a lot of them want to play matchups, but that they've not even thought those matchups out carefully, because they're also going in with the convention of matchups. Like, okay, you see Nitish Rana, you will bowl an off spinner, not realizing that an off spinner is not a negative matchup to Nitish Rana. So, and again, you want to take Rohit for captaincy, but post the T20 last T20 World Cup and so far, Rohit has not been in the team. So has he even had a say in team construction so far? I'm not sure. I don't
And this
think so.
actually tells,
So
and that should actually tell us that where is the decision making, where does the decision making lie? Because it definitely doesn't
yeah,
lie with Rohit.
yeah. So is the who's taking those shots? Because even Rahul Dravid has not been a part of a lot of T20 setups because VVS
Bro,
Lakshman
the
was there.
shots are being
So is it?
called right now by Ajit Agarkar. So let me put you all in a little role play situation, right? You, Gurkirat, are Rohit, Somesh is Virat, and I'm Ajit Agarkar. After the South African series, or maybe even after the World Cup, I ask you all, okay, what's the scene, boys? Are you looking to play all three formats? What's the scene? Have you made a decision in your scene? Rohit and Virat, I'm surely thinking they would have been like, listen, if you're picking me for Afghanistan, we're playing the World Cup. Or they would have been like, listen, we still want to play the World Cup. Are we part of the plans? And Ajit Agarkar obviously would have taken a call with them saying, boys, you know what? Play the Afghanistan series. You'll anyway be playing the IPL. And whatever. With Virat, I think there's greater parts to play, which I've explained, and you guys are blaming me for it, where it's the venue and everything plays a part. But you first, Som, have you gone to Ajit Agarkar saying, listen, I still want to have one last final shot of the World Cup. I'll make myself available for that series, even though the personal reasons better stemmed out.
I mean, see, don't say final. Final shot to kuch bhi nahi hota, because every year there is an ICC tournament. You will blink and there'll be one more T20 World Cup in 2026. Virat Kohli might still be scoring heaps of runs at Chinnaswamy in IPL. It'd be like, oh, look at him, he's still scoring runs. So there is nothing called final. But yeah, I mean, see, at a personal level, everyone would want to play World Cups. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I mean, David Warner retired like a couple of weeks ago from ODIs, and he's like, but I've retired, but I'll still be available for Champions Trophy. Look at what Ben Stokes did. So, I mean, increasingly, every cricketer has made it clear that no matter what, they can end up skipping all bilaterals. At least Indian cricketers won't skip the IPL, and they would definitely want to play the World Cup. But again, there has to be a clear director of a format, especially 6 months before the World Cup, that what your plans are and which are the players that you really need in your best 12. And if player A and B, no matter what their reputation is, are going to disrupt that 12, no matter how desperately they want to play a World Cup for one last time, they should not be in the plan. So this tell me that there is actually there is no plan. There is no best 12 5 months into the.
But so that's what Dravid got asked as well at the press conference. And he said, because there's so many ICC competitions these days and so much cricket, that sometimes they want to go in with their best 11, but they have to do the juggling act. So,
I don't
how
see. I don't agree with that assessment at all, because he's someone who has played, who scored more than 10,000 runs for India in two different formats. And three of us, if we put our brains to it, we can actually think of how you can differentiate the squad across formats. So I don't think there is any rocket science in it. It's very common sense. You want to take certain decisions because you want to cater for the masses and look at the financial aspects to it, and don't want to hurt egos of someone who's really big in Indian cricket right now. Then that's the separate chat altogether. But it
okay,
just tells me that there is absolutely no plan.
okay.
No,
And we've, of
I
course, harped
my
upon it
next
for the
question
longest
is,
time, right?
to add on to what Avnish was saying. Okay, that they want to play another World Cup and get that one last time. What happens now if India don't win the World T20 and they say, okay, now we want to play the 2025 Champions Trophy?
It's an opportunity gone begging, but at least they're going
No,
in
but
again thinking with a money-minded agenda.
no, but then forget about winning. This is what I say. No, that as an Indian cricket fan, if you want to watch Indian cricket, then watch it without any sort of expectations, because you are clearly putting
Because they will
individuals.
say the backlash if India lose a World Cup with Rohit and Virat in the team, without them in the team. Say, for example, people think, you know how countries at times, right? And they will just be like, oh, because Rohit and Virat didn't get selected, that's why these Indian youngsters lacking experience couldn't do anything in the World Cup.
So those things will be said anyway. That
That's
there
the
are
thing,
still not so,
which is
but
How is
how?
this not a valid argument?
No, but
it's not
then
a valid argument.
there are people who also say that if Yuzvendra Chahal was there in the 2021 World T20, India wouldn't have lost to Pakistan. But India had already lost that game with the bat. वो तो बोलने को तो
Agreed,
कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा. वो तो you
agreed.
can't. I mean, you can't control everyone's mouth. There are a billion people in the country. You can't. You have to do something which is logically correct and in the interest of the team. And I don't think right now that is happening. In fact, not just that. It's an argument or it's a conversation for even bigger issues. And many times you feel, that the entire Indian cricket setup is in a delusion of its own. You've won a test match in Cape Town, which you haven't won ever. You become the first Asian team, and you're talking about the pitch in the World Cup final being rated average. It tells you, like, if you had any doubts whatsoever that who took the calls or who took the shots in terms of deciding that pitch, they were cleared that day. Rather than actually, admitting that you got that bit wrong, you have taken it upon your ego. Why has it been, rated average? So that is what I'm saying. It has become so short term, so result oriented in terms of short term goals, that you are now starting to live in your own bubble and in your old delusion, and you feel यही है जो है, यही है जो सच है,
No, I
बाकी जो
mean,
है.
and
And
you're
actually,
banged
see,
on.
I'll be very honest. The bottom line of Indian cricket is so much in the green that they don't care about trophies anymore. That is the saddest part. I mean, saddest part for fans, but for people who are running the sport, it's all
Yeah,
hunky-dory. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, there are no consequences. There are no consequences of losing. There are no consequences of losing on multiple attempts. I mean, it's not like these guys have not had their fair chances of winning a ICC tournament. It has been a decade. So, I mean, the buck has to stop somewhere. And why not stop at the format which you are weakest at? There is an ICC tournament to be won every fucking year.
yeah.
Go ahead, target it, win it. Let someone else try it out this time who deserve it far more than you do. I mean, to be very honest, both Rohit and Kohli have lost India two T20 World Cup single-handedly. There is absolutely no look. Go back and look at the scorecard of India New Zealand game in the 2021 World Cup and look at the scorecard of India England game in the T20 World Cup. There are two players who have single-handedly lost the game for India. Two consecutive World Cups. You can't tell me that they deserve to be in this squad in place of people who have been performing, who have been playing fearless cricket for since they have been out for the past 14 or so months.
And not just with the bat, even tactically. Because in that New Zealand game, both Virat and Rohit were stuck facing Santner and Sodhi. In that England game, both Virat and Rohit were stuck facing Adil Rashid and Liam Livingston. Not just with the bat alone, tactically also, which is why I said that, you talk of captaincy and everything, but at the end of the day, if the tactics are not changing, then what good is that captaincy? So often you have seen with this setup of Rohit and Rahul Dravid that come the pressure moment, come the big moment, they have resorted to the safest option. They have gone back to the experienced players, and they've not, like, you for from the 2022 IPL till the World Cup. You said that Dinesh Karthik is your finisher. Come the semi-final, you dropped him. You played Rishabh Pant, and Rishabh Pant did not get to play a single ball of Adil Rashid. That is right up there in terms of tactical disaster classes. So it's, and like I said, I mean, you it's been what, it's going to be nearly 2 months after the World Cup, and you still have more issues about the pitch being rated average than over the fact that you got it wrong in terms of getting that pitch, or
And who
playing
started
on
it?
that.
I think India are the one who started this. Developing rank turners when everyone visited. I mean, 2015 South Africa. Were there quality pitches? No. I mean, no one can convince me that those are quality test match pitches. Even a country like New Zealand had to resort to the strategy of developing seaming wickets for India. A country where they dish out flattest wickets to everyone. But even those nice guys like India, इनको तो
Short,
That's a
short.
match shot. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point that you mentioned about the pitches as well. I think that it left a sour taste in Rohit's mouth after that whole collapse in of course, when they had their tails up after they won as well. I think the post
And
match presentation
let's
was
be
that.
fair. I mean, pitches prepared in home tests in India are shit. They're crap
Yeah.
pitches. They don't make for quality viewing at all. And actually, I mean, I don't want to say it on live TV. Forget it. I'll ping you personally what I really want to say, because I'll come out as someone who doesn't want this team to win, because I don't want. I'm not that person, but for the greater good, if it has to happen, it should happen. But let be. I just want to make a broader point here that, truth be told, in all honesty, the real reason why India fail on big moments is not because of the top order. It is because of the batting depth, or the lack of batting depth, or lack of all rounders. That has always been the case. And this is something that I really love about this 11, that you have Washington Sundar at 8. At least, at least you have the batting depth. You know that there is someone out there batting at 8, which was not there in most of the T20 World Cups, which was not there in this World Cup as well, not in the final. That is the reason why KL batted the way he did. But when we talk about controllables, you know that India are a country who lack all-rounders anyway. So this is where you'd rather play batters who are fearless up top, because niche batting depth wala issue is not solvable immediately. It will take decades to solve it out, and that is the reason why we are having this conversation. When we say that so
उसको
and
भी
so
और
lost
उस डेवलपमेंट को भी डेंट करने के लिए you've brought in the impact sub
impact
rule.
player rule, yeah. So
Because Rahul Chahar went on record and said that he's actually improved his batting, but he was being subbed out.
you
He's
could
being
see
subbed
clear,
out.
you could see clear player development. Venkatesh Iyer, he was developing into something good. Where is he now? He's not bowling. Vijay Shankar is not bowling. Shivam Dube is not bowling. So this is where, I mean, see, the point is, the there has been an echo chamber where everyone feels that whatever they're doing is right because the bottom line is in the green. They're making shit loads of profit. But is
Yeah.
it really helping Indian cricket? I don't agree with it at all.
Hmm.
And
I
results
mean,
are there to speak. I mean, India is a country who should be winning every alternate ICC tournament, if not every. But the fact is, they've not won any in the last decade.
Yeah, at this point of time, probably I'm going a little extreme, but when it comes to pitches, India are just short of Bangladesh in terms of doctoring them.
Absolutely.
We have seen how Bangladesh's progress as a lack of cricketing nation has come back to bite them purely due to pitches. India are struggling to develop the next crop of test batters purely due to pitches. Because when you are constantly playing on pitches where you feel getting to 35 or 50 is good enough, the day you get a pitch where you can actually apply yourself and bat for 4 or 5 hours, you've lost that art, or you've lost that touch of doing so, because your instincts have developed in a manner where you really cannot bat long. You don't have that appetite by default.
hmm.
And
I
look
mean,
at
it
the
just
look at the team. Oh, short, yeah.
good shot
Sure.
that 50 up for
And
Afghanistan, by the
Gurbaz
way.
and Ibrahim have basically have reversed roles. I mean, if one would have asked me ahead, I would have predicted Ibrahim Zadran to be playing at lesser than run a ball, but it's turning out to be Gurbaz. But good for him.
Yeah,
I
captain,
mean,
fantastic.
look at the team which are like head and shoulders above every other cricket nation. Australia, do they doctor pitches? They don't. I mean, do you remember any scenario where they know? I mean, तुम अभी से बता सकते हो कि जब इंडिया सिडनी जाएगा तो पिच कैसा होगा, गावा जाएगा तो पिच कैसा होगा. It's not like India, you never know till the day. I mean, even after the pitch report, first session का pitch कुछ और ही निकल रहा है. No one has a clue कि ये wicket कैसा रहेगा. So that's the thing. I mean, they trust their own play so much कि they don't need.
Gone. Wicket. Aksha gets his man. 50 for 1 now it is. And Som will continue making his point, and so will Gurkirat. And all you lovely people keep liking our content, like this video as well. And Chun Chun Kelunga going on to be extremely chatty this evening, which is good to see. Saying, someone please wake up Afghanistan, they're playing an ODI.
So they've made Ibrahim Zadran the captain. I mean, it's good for him, but I mean, abhi as of now, to matlab, I'm not seeing a T20 player in him. And what is Rahmat Shah doing in the 11? I
He's
know since
making
I've
his debut.
criticized him,
He's making his
उसका
debut.
ODI strike rate थोड़ा बढ़ गया है, but T20 में खिला लिया मतलब सीधा उठा के.
That
Hilarious.
Rahmat Shah playing this T20I series could really be like Rahul Dravid playing that one single T20I in
Yeah.
England in 2011. This is his debut series and could turn out to be his last T20 series.
So you mean Akshar Patel is getting hit for 3 sixes?
Could even be Washington Sundar, we don't know.
I was making that comparison to Samit
Yeah,
Patel and
Samit
what
Patel.
Dravid did to him.
For sure. M.
Yeah,
Rajesh, meanwhile, asking Paji, who will get injured for Kohli getting into the playing 11 for the second T20 International?
I think one is Shivam Dube will probably go out of the 11, and if Yashasvi is fit, then Gill will go out. But yeah, I don't see India persisting with Dube for long,
Okay,
because
I
there
think
is
Tilak Verma will go out.
पता नहीं, if Tilak Varma goes out, then it would be even more surprising because you've bagged him and played him far more
Oh,
than
Oh,
Shivam.
Dube is bowling. Dube is bowling and straight
मैं
away
बोल रहा हूँ
beating the
भाई.
outside edge.
Yes, good. Nikhil, we are here.
For sure.
Azmat
And
Mohammed Rain.
by the way, doubling saying bhai असली cricket तो अब IPL ही है
No,
इतना
that's
load मत
that's
नहीं.
exactly what Sumesh has said, by the way.
Yeah. And Akhil Nair is saying, are list A pitches as bad as pitches prep for test? Not as bad because obviously even the Ranji sees
No, but over
29
there
wins.
also, what happens in Ranji is that if you were to, so I think group
Catch
has
it, gone. Another wicket. Shivam Dube now gets a wicket. And I don't know if that's a blessing in disguise for India or what. Brilliant.
Trust me, it is. Trust me, it is. You, Hardik Pandya is like one fall away from an injury anytime. You would need an option, भाई. बिना
100%.
बैलेंस के कोई फायदा नहीं है.
100%. Shravan, by the way, if you're new to the channel,
And
please subscribe.
actually, West Indies is one place where Dube's batting can work.
Lefty.
Lefty spin hitter, why proper
yes,
basher.
very good vertical spin, very, and has a lot of power.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power. Yeah, but coming to that, pitches. So I think in Ranji you have to play 6 games in the group stage, 3 at home, 3 away. Now, depending upon how that team is particularly placed, if they actually need a draw and if they are actually playing a strong side, then they will have a pitch where it you will only get a draw in four
But
four
there
days.
also, I think, like, say, a BR is hosting a Mumbai with the powerhouse that they are, they're not going to let alone some BR curator tamper that pitch, right?
No, but the home association is going to control it.
But all I'm saying is, like, say, Tripura playing home to Karnataka, they're not going to probably have the balls to kind of,
Both, I don't think they are ever in the same group, because
But
that
even
is the
if they
place.
wanted, even if they wanted doctor pitches in the Ranji, how do they know? It's not like a clear thing where we know like some of the English batters susceptible to spin. Here, it could be doing more
No,
harm
they
than
will
good
play
now.
it to their strengths. No, like I told you. So if it is a draw that they require and only the first innings lead, then they will make a flat pitch and hope that they get to bat first, score enough runs. Because that happened. I think it was a game between Jharkhand and Bengal where Bengal kept on batting for till 850 runs or something, purely to get a draw. And this is something which is recent. Mumbai, I think in that Ranji Trophy where Madhya Pradesh beat Mumbai, I think in the semis, Mumbai had a chance to enforce a follow on, but Mumbai chose to bat again because they wanted to rest their bowlers and they had got the first innings lead. They knew that we will go into the final anyway. So there's that also.
Sorry, I'm just munching on my Nagin Boot Jalokia healthy chips, which is pretty good. It's not a sponsor club by any stretch of the imagination. Neural Hack's also saying, actually, Ashwin said in his YouTube video, recent match, I think, in Gujarat or Ahmedabad, if I'm not wrong, the pitch was very good, assisting pace and bounce swing and a bit of spin and all. He gave credit applause. The pitch chat, to be honest, guys, I know it's well documented what India have done, especially in the recent past, but it's not like every series we've seen in the last 8 years has been like that, right? That 2019 series against South Africa at home,
Because they knew कि South Africa, मतलब भाई क्या, there was no AB, there is no threat. And see, I love Ashwin, but you can't take his thing on. मतलब, you can't agree with him on everything. He's not right all the time, for sure. I mean, he would have been a very different cricketer had he been right all the time. And with pitches, it's helping him. It's helping his numbers. I mean, he is probably the number one player to be selected in the 11 when India plays home tests, because it's the best pitches that he can ask for, both with the bat and ball.
oh, yeah, absolutely. So I just
And
froze for a second because there could be a review here from Rohit Sharma,
I
and it's
think it's going down.
crazy.
I think it's going down. At best, it's going to be umpire's call because both the off stump and the middle stump is was visible.
So
Okay.
I'll
And
give you an example just to take back the clock 2 years ago when Ravi Shastri said that we'll take the pitches out of the equation. they were actually following it. When England came to India, they were following it. They lost the first test. What happened after that? Immediately, Ahmedabad ranked turners, 3-day finishes. So there is a philosophy. I actually agree with what I think Mark Butcher has said recently, that WTC has actually done more harm than good, because teams want to get those points so that they can qualify for the final. They are trying to doctor the pitches more in their favor.
But so this whole pitch back and forth banter, not banter, but more than banter right now with the boards, it started off with the BCCI and ECB. Let's face it, especially in the last 2 years. That particular series that you just named, where India went 1-0 down in Chennai, and then they won the competition 3-1 in the series 3-1. So good kid. So my point is, now essentially when you grow up in England, you're bound to play on green tracks more than India, correct? Historically as well. So, is it wrong that India are playing to their strengths? Because sometimes you go to England and you'll play 4 test matches and they won't be similar conditions that India face. So, isn't it home advantage? Sometimes, if you go to like how England came in 2012 and outspun India, that's the fruit of it as well, right? The rewards are there to see.
If you look at the pitches in 2012, the first, I remember that test series very very clearly. First test match was in Ahmedabad, second in Mumbai, third in Kolkata, fourth in Nagpur. The first test that India won, the pitch was decent enough for Alistair Cooks to score a 160 odd and Matt Pryor to score a 90 odd and actually score 400 runs in the third innings. It was only the pitch for Mumbai in the second test where there was not only spin, but the pitch had enough pace and bounce. And even then, you had Cheteshwar Pujara score a 135, along with Ashwin scoring a 60. Cook scored 100.
KYP
Peterson
did.
scored 100. And then when India were batting in the third innings, Gautam Gambhir got a 60 odd. When you go to Kolkata, India still managed 350 odd runs or something in the first innings, where I think Sachin scored a 50 plus 70 80, Ashwin scored a 60. There were no hundreds from India's end in the first innings, and then Alistair Cook scored 190 again, and India had a gone, gone
Oh, not getting a Dravid type fairy tale ending.
or beginning.
By the way, happy birthday, Rahul Dravid. I know you're not watching this, but all the fans were huge fans. So big on Jam,
Yeah,
and
I hope
hopefully
I
he has a
hope
good
Rahul
year.
I hope you call Rahul Dravid if he texts you that why didn't you call me on my birthday?
I mean, I wish. I mean, he was my
Because you did
first
not
ever
call me
England.
back after I texted you.
Well,
People
you're a
should know it.
busy man. It was just constantly coming engaged. Like if you had a landline in today's generation, it would
No
be
way.
like,
There is no
mm,
missed call or anything. I
mm,
actually texted you the next
mm.
day कि भाई call नहीं करना होता and he's like sorry.
No,
उसके
but one
बाद भी
sec.
phone किया बेशरम आदमी.
10 overs gone, 57 for 3. Gurkirat simply just acting now, banter.
I
Aaj
am
ke
not
cricket
acting out
talkies.
anything. It is the truth.
Introspect, Pranav Anand, M. Rajesh, good to see you as well. We'll keep taking your questions and we'll, of course, also tell you our best Rahul Dravid memories in terms of any Rahul Dravid memories at the halftime break. So don't go anywhere, grab your dinner, and cricket.com is the place to be for the watch along. Going back to the can of worms that I opened at the top of the show, I want to ask you all this again before we get into some questions. Rohit Sharma, we say that he's coming back into the scheme of things only because of Hardik Pandya's injury. If, guys, and I'm asking you a hypothetical question here, if Hardik Pandya was fit, do you think we would have seen Rohit today? Do you think we would have seen Rohit ever in T20 internationals? Because if you look at the vice captain in this squad as well, who is it? Name it. I can't find one.
See, abhi to, there's a practice in Indian cricket that if you have played 10 games in a format, then you're eligible for captaincy. You can be captain anytime. You never know. I mean, agla call aega, you are captain. Basically, vice captain is everyone else who's selected in the squad. So,
No, I'm saying even if you're captain, but it's something what Gurkira just pointed out even 40 minutes ago, right? Whoever's been our captain, whether it's Surya or Rohit or Hardik in the last 3-4 years in T20s or Virat, we've not seen a wholesale change or tactics from them, so to speak, like how we see with Owen Morgan and Aaron Finch, right? So, what is it? Is it the
but
coach again? Is it just the
was it
mentality?
needed? Was it needed? Once the players who value their wicket a lot more were out, you automatically had new blood who were playing T20 as it is supposed to be played. So that was a change in itself. See, the point is there was not a lot going wrong in Indian cricket. What Owen
From
Morgan did,
when
England was shit in 2015. They were beaten by Bangladesh, Ireland in World Cups. They were not even qualifying for the next round. India are not that bad. It is just the final polishing that is needed, and that was done. Once the dead weight was out and youngsters were in, they were playing fearless cricket.
But my point being is, since they burnt their fingers, not just in the 2021 World Cup in the UAE, like you said, so or down under, why the hell haven't they made wholesale changes? A and B, why does it not make you think about Hardik Pandya as an initial pick as captain? I know he won the IPL and they got carried away and they named him as Indian captain. I mean, theoretically, he's anyway a liability, right, Gurkirat? With the fact that he's an all-rounder, we know his injury record. Why even put Hardik as a captain?
They went with the perception he's won the IPL. Okay, so let's make him the captain. At this point of time, his stocks are high, even though everyone who's been a follower of the show know that I don't rate his captaincy a lot. So they went with the perception, and I personally feel that even if Hardik was available, there was a good chance that India would have still gone back to Rohit and Virat, even as squad members. There was still a good chance of that because they never announced that Hardik is the full-time captain, because they always wanted to keep this option open. Like, if Rohit comes back, or if we want to bring back Rohit, we can always say that Rohit was rested, Virat was rested. We've once had a chief selector come and say that Shikhar Dhawan has been rested from the World T20.
From the World Cup. Yeah, yeah.
So, what hopes do you have?
You know, 2 points. One is, I just, by the way, Azmatullah
Good
boundary.
shot.
I just feel that post Rohit, will we ever see India announcing a full-time captain? Because they now understood that what an advantage this is. The flexibility that this offers, कि ये squad है, इस tour में ये captain है. We don't need to announce anything full-time. He is the captain in this tour. And when those who were running the sport, when they understand the value of having this flexibility, they love it. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens once Rohit moves on. That will India ever have a full-time captain? A, and B, just imagine this funny scenario when in the IPL, Hardik would be the captain in a team with Rohit in it, and in the World Cup, Rohit would be the captain with Hardik in it. I mean, it just it'll be
By
so
the way,
funny.
I feel there's a decent enough possibility that Rohit will not play all the games for Mumbai Indians.
Of course.
No, that is there, but just talking about Indian cricket a little bit about the captaincy in T20s, and so makes an excellent point there that who knows in the future what lies ahead, right? With this format being so dynamic
Not about
and
this format.
frequent.
I'm saying overall. Forget about this format.
But
Even
yeah,
overall.
so my question there to you is, in the last 10, 15 years, we've blessed to be identified leaders the way that Dhoni was, of course, ruling the roost for the longest time. And then he had a perfect transition with Virat. And then they thought that Rohit, of course, being the big thing in cricket, it's only fair for him to get his crack. But right now, be honest with me, as fans, as experts, as pundits, do you see a potential Indian captain across formats? I don't think so. If it's KL Rahul, great, but then people will question him in the shortest format.
Why
So
do you
I don't
need a
know.
why do you need a captain for all formats?
Even if you want to pick one for T20 and make him a full-time T20 captain, you can't, because they've gone with Hardik, but obviously it's a susceptibility with the all-rounder fact. So even if you want to go with Gill, then you have to play him. And then that, of course, like
See, I mean,
puts other people out of the
I
equation.
think T20s is actually the easiest to solve right now, because there's one player who you would always pick in every T20 team. That's Sky. You don't have to pick him in the other two formats. That's the mistake that they've been making.
And that's
See,
what they did last series in Australia, right? They picked him as captain.
and actually, he should be captaining this team anyway if Hardik is not around, because he's your number one pick. He's your number. He's the best T20 batter in the world. Period. So that's one headache that you should not be having.
And even in ODIs, it is not difficult to pick the next captain.
Yeah.
But
You have KL
Gurpreet,
right there.
but think of it, we're the world's richest, we're the best cricket team and all of that. 1 month before the World Cup begins, I'm pretty sure you won't have answers. Who is that skipper? Who will be leading us in the West Indies? Right? We're right now guessing if Hardik Pandya even returns, okay, and assume he returns in the third game of the IPL season. He'll have 11 opportunities left, maybe more if Gujarat qualify for the quarterfinals. I mean, the knockouts,
Mumbai.
beg your pardon. Mumbai. Yeah, Mumbai. It's a little bit to get used to. Do you still expect him to automatically play the World Cup then, regardless of what he does in the IPL? What if Hardik has a shit IPL and he's not really well oiled, and then obviously like June
See,
5th already
if you
Ireland.
are playing Rohit in the World Cup, then simple as that. Any player of similar stature, if fit, can walk back into. Oh God!
Oh, dropped.
Can
And
can
no
so
Hardik,
chance.
and
Hardik and
Hardik is
Bumrah,
one player who has no replacement. So
absolutely.
as long as he can walk or even be 80% fit, he will play.
So, so that was my follow-up question. The fact that he is a rare breed in Indian cricket, so
Yeah.
does that make him automatically captain in this format? And because okay, fine, IPL जीत लिया, ठीक है.
He doesn't make him the captain, but that definitely ensures that he would be
Automatic
playing in the
selection.
11 as long as he's fit. And same goes with Bumrah. Bumrah can end up with an IPL 14 games, 0 wickets, economy of 12. Entire IPL. He'll still be playing the World Cup. The point is the actually अभी जो मजा तो क्या मतलब अब जो इंटरेस्टिंग बिट होने वाला है ना दैट इज लेट्स से रोहित हैज अ हॉरिबल आईपीएल एंड ही इज ड्रॉप्ड फ्रॉम मुंबई टीम देन व्हाट इंडिया डू will they still will they still pick him and then captain him in the World Cup? That would be the real situation.
Oh, I mean, talk about your scenario. I'm
Exactly what
saying,
Jaren Rafi is saying. Yeah.
imagine Hardik is unfit and Rohit has a horrible IPL. Then who are you looking at to captain? Throw it back to Virat
And
Kohli.
and if Rohit was not the captain, he would. There were multiple scenarios where he would have been dropped by Mumbai Indians all these years, at least a couple of times, in the
Yeah,
middle of the IPL.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. People are pointing out about Rohit and not having a strike rate of over 135 in any calendar year in T20
I
since
you know I
2018.
I want to bring up another thing over here. Yes, there's talk about his strike rate also, but even his average has not crossed 30. See,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you are a top order batter. There has to be a minimum cutoff even for your average. If you are averaging below 25, you're I know you
But I
know that
feel like those last 5 years is a little skewed. Like, remember in the build up to the 2022 World Cup, guys, we saw him play. I think India played England in England in T20 series. And then he was pulling out cameos, like not cameos, but like 13 ball 24 and
short.
just setting the foundation, right? Short. Would you take a Rohit like that for the World Cup? Or do you
That
expect more
that
from Rohit?
kind of that kind of opener cannot really work if your batting is finishing at 7.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, I just want to jump in and Pranavan's question here because it just caught my eye. What do you mean Rohit has a horrible IPL? Has that made a difference before? Rohit will be captain T20 World Cup. You can write it down now. IPL
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I
Point
mean,
is वही है ना कि अभी अगर हॉरिबल आईपीएल हुआ तो he'll be dropped. Imagine him not
hmm,
playing, bombing the bench for Mumbai for 6 games, 7 games. That and
yeah.
then he's coming out कि I am the captain of India in the World Cup.
And introspect agreeing with you, Paji, with regards to an opener, ideally should be 35 average with a 150 plus strike rate. And I don't know. I mean, right now,
I'm not
India
saying
trying to.
35. I'm saying have a minimum cutoff of 30. Have a minimum cutoff of 30. Have a strike rate cutoff of 140.
Hmm, hmm. Fair.
बहुत सिंपल बात है यार. The three of us are sitting here. You want to achieve something. You follow a method to achieve that. You fail once. You fail. Okay, चलो कुछ गड़बड़ होगी. Let's try it again. You failed twice. Will you try it the third time? The exact same thing. Any person with common sense won't. And this is where all of this is coming from. Why are you trying the same thing with which you failed?
So they're basically going to go back to pretty much similar things of what they did in the previous two World Cups, but except you never know. KL Rahul is not in the scheme of things, but I'm guessing KL, Jadeja, Siraj, and Bumrah will be brought back for that World
Avnish,
Cup.
I have a question to you. Since
Yeah.
you've been, asking about the captaincy bit, there is Rohit and there is Hardik. These two are the contenders to be captain. Pick out any one moment from their captaincy careers or whatever where you think that they've been tactically sound or they've done tactically something very different from what has not happened before or is something new. You will not be able to come up with many examples.
I won't, because I'll tell you what goes in their case with regards to all the success that they've had in IPL, especially with Rohit, is that because he's had a great team. Let's make no mistake. Your Pollard, your Pandya brothers, that Mumbai team operated so well that Rohit, yes, at times did make the right calls. Now, when we look back at it in hindsight, it's very hard to nitpick. or giving the ball to the 15th over, 16th over, juggling your options, and so on and so forth. Obviously, diehard Rohit fans will be able to point out these examples, but my point is they've been made to look really good captains. And Rohit fans will be like, what do you mean? You're telling me all 5 IPLs are fluke? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that era
You
of Mumbai Indians was so good, was just absolutely so good. I mean, you have to give it to them. Even no other captain could have lost with that Gujarat Titans team that Hardik had the first season. Let's face it, guys. We all watched that IPL. Come on, you think Hardik was as tactical and shrewd?
the point is not about Hardik, but you cannot say, I mean, oh,
Sure.
shot.
Short six. All
There
I'm
were
saying is
more.
when
There
we
were
looked at
more.
it,
See, there were more negative reviews about Gujarat squad than positive. There is no one who can prove me wrong.
I agree, but that was in post-auction pre-tournament.
Yeah,
But as soon as they found their feet, then we were
yeah.
like, dude, like, look,
So I mean,
Shami.
it was a well-oiled machine.
But
Roll
that's
clarity,
not
roll
down to
definition.
Hardik, right? Or do you think it's because of
Of course,
Hardik
it is
because
not.
he's
But
learned from Dhoni and man management?
again, but he executed it well.
So I would give him the man management perspective. In with Rohit, I think he's been able to get the best out of players in terms of an arm around the
This is what
shoulder.
Kohli also said, right? That they are good executioner of plans, but they're not the ones making those plans.
Last IPL, there was an instance where Hardik said, "I don't remember the changes that have been made in the 11."
Yeah, and that's just him trying to be cool, yeah. I mean, अगर या तो he's just trying super hard to be cool, or otherwise he's just let it out that कि ये मेरी team तो है ही नहीं. I have no clue what's going on here.
No, but generally, when you look at them as captains, their body language, what is the kind of message you get as fans? Like, even right now, and I don't want to quote the toss, but both the captains, Ibrahim Zadran, let's cut him slack. He's just operating in a second series as a T20 international captain, the first being the UAE. But Rohit forgot his team name, and Zadran forgot his team names. Do you count that as
That's fine.
carelessness, being a leader, and be like, oh my God? And that's, like he doesn't even know his team?
For Zadran, I can say it's a case of nerves. For Rohit also, he's also under pressure. Everything said and done, he knows. Any cricketer can say, like, one of the biggest lies I feel a cricketer would say is that I don't listen to the outside noise. It is impossible to not listen to the outside noise. It is there everywhere. That outside noise is on your phone. It is on your TV. It is in your newspaper. You want to chill on Instagram, you will get to hear a outside noise. So this, everyone is aware of what is happening on the outside noise. That is why sometimes you see, a cricketer or someone being spunky in the press conferences. If you've not read the outside noise, then there is no reason for you to be spunky, right?
Fair,
So
fair.
everyone reads that outside noise, everyone pays heed to it, and somewhere deep within their hearts they want to shut that outside noise by performing. So even Rohit's under pressure, no questions about it, because he knows that there's a lot of debate on his spot, and rightly so. So probably it could be that pressure
As a
also for him.
captain or as a batter?
I think the question is both. Firstly, that how is he making the 11, and if he's making the 11, why as captain?
He's only made the 11 because of this injury to Hardik. Let's be honest, Gurkirat.
I don't think so. I think he would have made it regardless.
Really?
Yeah.
So that means they have in mind. Then it comes back to what I was telling you guys, which you obviously were belittling me for, which is let's wake up and spell the coffee, guys. It's not about a cricket chat. It's about board of control for India in terms of the business of control for India. And they're taking those two only because of the venue. If this World Cup was in New Zealand, Paji, they would Rohit Virat wouldn't have gone. Bhai, it's only happening because it's the US.
We
Posters
can
bhi lagwa diya hai.
हम डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, but there is no way to prove this. So I mean, कुछ point, there is no end to
नहीं
this
फिर
discussion.
नहीं वैसे भी if we want to discuss this only, then we might as well become the broadcaster and not discuss cricketing aspect of the of
Okay,
the game.
1 second. One thing I'm going to do is definitely take some comments right now because people are slandering me for not taking comments and are disagreeing with me about certain things I said. That's fine. That's your opinion. Shubham Gupta, really, really appreciate that. And of course, Neural Hack saying, Avnish, please take my
Akshar's
last
bowled
question.
out his spell for 2 for 23.
Well done. Positive, positive indeed. And yeah, like I said, Shubham was disagreeing with me about Gujarat Titans chat. Fair enough. You guys are entitled to your opinion. And Crick Talkies, sorry, I didn't take your questions yet, but keep them coming through. I will take it now. Which one did I miss? Please let me know. And more questions to follow. Guys, just tell your playing 11 for World Cup with Kohli and
This is,
Rohit in the
this is
team
a
and six
great
bowling
question
option.
because the answer to this does not exist.
Exactly, and we can't
Because
sit here in
cannot
Jan.
fill, you
null
cannot
set
fulfill
है.
you cannot
इसका
fill all the three criteria.
इसका Venn diagram is a null set.
Yeah.
You will have Avnish, do you know Venn diagrams?
Yeah, of course. I don't know why people think I'm like incompetent to understand Venn diagrams.
No,
My
because I know
friend told
Somesh is an engineer, so he would
no,
have studied Venn diagrams. I am
no,
not
I don't
sure.
blame. I'm not blaming you itself. It's one of my best friends as well. We were on video call, and he was like, "Ha, I made a Venn diagram group. Amnish won't understand." And I was like, "I'm not a science fail.
God.
I passed science
God.
by the skin of my teeth. I
Omarzai,
still
boy.
passed it. Brilliant."
Yeah,
Omarzai
I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually supporting GT this season.
GT
For
No,
Omarzai. Yeah, what a steal. I believe he remains the steal of the auction. 50
Hey,
lakhs.
it would be such a fun story if they end up winning this IPL by letting Hardik Pandya go. Just imagine that will just say कि भाई Hardik never mattered.
No, absolutely. By the way, yeah, I mean, this is the question saying neural hacks with Vasant. I'm looking at 100 likes saying Raja Human we are as well. So please like it because our producer is looking for the 50th like of this particular watch along. And all you guys watching us, tell
Where's
us.
Vasant's question? Where's Vasant's question?
It's actually Venn diagram.
Yeah, where is Vasant's question? 95 for 3, 14.2, which is 96 for 3, 14.2 right now. And also let us know in the comments how much you think Afghanistan will get. Apparently, the last 40 T20s in Mohali, 26 of those have been, of course, won by the team chasing. So let's see how that peters out today as well. Chaitanya Padal, good evening. Good to see you. He goes on, asks Gurkirat. Paji, how do you think we can play our strongest 11? Any possible scenario to leave out seniors? Lock them in the room. Make them miss their flight, but they'll still catch it through their chartered flights.
It will be idea.
For more and 100 up. 100 up in the 15th
As,
over. Brilliant.
as Avnish calls it, Gaushala mein gayi hai ball.
Gaushala, dude.
There is never a fielder in Gaushala.
But one sec, Chaitanya Padal, can you answer this question, Gurkirat? How? Do you drug them? Do you make them miss their flight? Because even if you make them miss their flight, Kohli will get his chartered flight. New York pay.
And then RCB will play a green game for the environment to make up for it.
Niggle, there are only niggles possible, nothing else.
Okay, one second. Ravi Singh is disagreeing with me, and my name is Avnish, not Avinash, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you're new, please subscribe.
I have a question to you, Avnish. Is there a possibility
Sure.
Is there a
possibility
of them resting Rohit and Kohli for the World Cup?
Maybe for the group stage, and then get them for the Super 8s. Because come on, essentially, like, what's the point? But one second, do you agree with this? That Virat will be going to the US on merit, boys?
If he opens, yes. If he and even then, he should have played a lot more T20s than what he has done post the World T20 last World T20, because he'll be playing what, 2 T20s for India.
But you're saying he's the second best opener India have right now in T20s after Jaiswal.
I'm absolutely okay with Virat opening, but it comes with a lot of asterisks. His partner has to be Jaiswal. And then you cannot have Shreyas Iyer and all in 3, 4, 5 anywhere. Virat Kohli, only anchor, khatam. And you have Jaiswal.
Exactly. So Jaiswal, Kohli, and then imagine Sky, Tilak.
Shreyas Iyer in T20I is selected only to be dropped for the World T20.
No, but boys, you guys have a good point here, because if you throw Kohli in as an opener, and obviously it suits him well, that means he has power players all around him. And like you mentioned, so not even a Shreyas Iyer in the mix, because then think about it, Jaiswal, Kohli, then Sky, then Tilak, then Rinku, then Jitesh. No?
Tilak ki jagah Hardik, if he's fit.
No, I'm assuming Hardik's also good on. I'm assuming no Rohit, no Hardik. But then if there's no Rohit
/ Dube, I mean, whoever is bowling.
But if there's no Rohit and Hardik in your 11, who captains?
You can make Sky the captain, na? What is that?
Sky, right? I was just asking.
If you wanted to hear Kohli, but I'll say Sky.
No, because bro, like, you know what Kohli says on mics and stump mics these days. So
he can say it without captaincy.
That's the thing.
And he also won't agree, yeah. And Kohli can say stuff even without being the captain. उसकी जबान कोई नहीं रोक पाया.
30 रन मारूंगा.
कोई रोक भी नहीं पाएगा.
Okay, another question that the chat is asking, guys, and they want to know from you all: who's more for lock in T20 11 right now for India? Is it Rinku or is it Tilak?
Rinku.
You would have to say Rinku because नंबर 6 पे खेलने वाला और प्लेयर ही कौन है?
Actually, see, if you think about it, who is a like for like replacement for Rinku at this point? Name one.
No one. Samson, but again, he's not even in that category.
And actually, if both Rohit and Kohli are playing, I'd rather drop Jaiswal than dropping Rinku. Because
Yeah,
Rinku is see again number 6 is a very big headache for India. It's not like it's not an easy problem to solve.
fair enough.
Let's be fair, even in the days of Rishabh Pant, he didn't perform as expected in the middle order role, and that's why he was in and out of the team.
Okay. Sachin, sorry. I'll take your questions. Really, really sorry. Don't blame the producer. It's just me because I'm talking to the boys, watching the game, and of course, here in the comments as well. So, one of you all answer this because he says if Virat opens with Jaiswal, can Rohit bat down the order like he did for MI or in the first T20 World Cup, or can Rohit and Virat open with Gill at 3 since Gill can attack spinners in T20, but then Jaiswal misses out?
सेकंड तो नहीं हो रहा, नो चांस ऑफ दैट हैपनिंग. फर्स्ट भी, if Rohit had to move down, Rohit did not move down from opening even when last season MI had Cameron Green as an option. They in fact messed up the positions of Surya Kumar Yadav and Tilak Verma in the first half of the IPL. So I don't think he's going to show that much flexibility now. It's not going to happen. And see, this is why another thing that I said, short.
Short.
This is
And he
why
got it.
another thing that I tweeted yesterday about Steve Smith offering the move to open. You would very rarely see in the subcontinent senior players moving down the order in limited overs because it becomes tougher to bat, and moving up to bat in red ball becomes tougher to bat because they know the system is going to allow them ki okay, they can pick and choose. Even in Pakistan, Babar and Rizwan are not moving from that position of opening. Everyone knows that it's doing them more harm. So short.
Short.
Oh my word. Nabi's teeing off indeed. At
So
119 for 3. So they're actually relatively
In
doing well
fact,
here.
I was of the opinion in 2020, 2021 that India could also try Kohli as a finisher at 5 because of his game against pace and his dwindling returns versus spin. But it did not happen. It did not happen for RCB, or it did not happen for India. So
I
वो तो
think
नहीं होने वाला,
I think
दोनों
they
ही नहीं
can
होने
play
वाले.
lower on the order if they can in 5 months' time they can learn to keep.
Fair enough. By the way, lots more comments coming through. AB Sam going on to say, feel for Gill, 890 runs at a strike rate of 158 in the IPL. His KKRDs have labeled him as someone not good for T20s. Actually, his hitting in white ball has improved a lot in the last 18 months. It's funny that you say that, AB Sam, because cricket.com, we love our stats and numbers. And if you follow us on Instagram, we put a comparison up between Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill in terms of what they do in the power play in the last, since 2023. So they both played about 11, 10 innings, and the numbers are there to see. I don't know whether it's the left-handed
Jaiswal's
advantage.
definitely the one with more intent. Gill, what happened with Gill, and I observed this, is that 2022, his strike rate in the entirety of the power play was around 110, 115. 2023, his strike rate in the first 3 overs was on the lower side, but it started to go up fourth, fifth, sixth over, because by then he was like, okay, I've got my eye in now, but I have to make the last three power play overs count. What I think also has happened with Gill is that post dengue, he said that he also lost a bit of muscle. I think that is somewhere that has played a part in his hitting, white ball hitting. In red ball, his issues are completely different.
Hmm.
And it's something we've discussed in the Indian team setup as well, whether you talk of Ruturaj or with Gill. Eventually, you want runs, you need runs. And when you are desperate to score runs, your intent will come down. Because you know that, and Ruturaj has been proven right in that regard. After scoring a very good 100 versus Australia, he's been dropped for someone who's not performed at well at all. So you can feel for Gill, you can feel for Ruturaj, you can feel for whoever, but the reality is that seniors, when they feel like, will come back regardless of performance.
Okay, let's take some more comments right now. Chun Chun Kelunga, I'm trying to take those comments as we speak. Kohli strike rate against spin is 113 this IPL, and he plays 7 matches in Chinnaswamy, which is graveyard for spinners. But then it makes you think, Chun Chun Kelunga, about Kohli and the roles that he has with certain T20 teams, RCB in India in this case, and the boys have interestingly named their 11, their wishful thinking 11, and sometimes even so, be honest with me, okay? You need a guy like Virat with the guys you're naming him around, like all the players around him. You need one anchor, right?
मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, मतलब I'm agreeing with you. There is no disagreement here at all. I'm more than happy to have him open, but with asterisks.
Okay,
And
with aspects.
to assess what Gurkirat was saying, the first 10 ball strike rate of Gill in his T20I career is around 110, and the same number for Jaiswal is above 150. So there is a very clear difference between intent, and you need openers with who can maximize the power play, even at the expense of them failing every alternate game.
Fair enough. Unknown going on to ask. Oh, Guki that's popped off. I think
And
he's
actually,
going on.
now is the correct time to play Jaiswal, because Abhibi, it's not like that his weaknesses have been found out, or teams know a set plan. So why not use him when teams don't still trying to decipher what Jaiswal's weaknesses are?
Fair enough. There is so much interaction around Virat and Rohit. Once they retire, किसी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. But till these guys play, masala रहेगा social media में. Anirudh going on to say that. Unknown going on to say views in this Jaiswal / Rohit, Kohli, Sky, Rinku, Hardik, keeper, Akshay Jadeja, Bishnoi, Bumrah, Arshdeep Siraj / spinner. Yeah, but then if you take Rohit as your backup or whatever, if you're putting Jaiswal / Rohit, how will you tell one or the other to miss out? Obviously, it's easier to say it to Jaiswal, but Jaiswal
And
is
also,
your best
this
opener.
team is sacrificing on batting depth. Your number 7 is most likely Jadeja, and it's the same thing as the World Cup. I mean, that Siraj / spinner has to be Sundar.
Yeah.
So that at least you have So I mean, I'm okay with all the other 10. That number 11, there is I don't see a room for Siraj. It has to be Sundar, who plays at 7.
Okay, yeah, because like you said earlier as well, you like the fact that Sundar is in an 8 in today's game. So let's see how much India have to chase. There's still 20 balls left of Afghanistan's first innings, and you're watching the cricket.com watchalong. If you guys are just joining, you saw Gurkirat. He's just taken a small little break, and he'll be back with us in just a bit. But Nudelac saying, Avnish, you skipped my 2 comments again. No, I haven't, because the benefit of going back up is just through scrolling. So relax. I'll take this question then, Nudelac, and I'll give it a Som. So he says, if there is one test nation to look up to, it is Australia, because different locations have different variety. Sydney Cricket Ground, like subcontinent, Perth, like SA, and some like England with some true bounce for a reason for Australia. Indeed.
I think I made a similar statement when we were discussing Abhi in this watch along itself. So I agree. I mean, see, there's a reason why Australia cricket is so successful. I mean,
No, but his follow-up question is that can India take a page out of Australia's book and become such a nation to have all kind of pitches, or whether it doesn't suit us traditionally?
No, but actually, if you think about it, the traditional test venues, they had their characteristics, but there are no set test venues now anyway. Earlier, there was a time when Mohali. I remember India bowled out for 83 when Dion Nash took them apart. It was in 99, and it was assisting seamers. And there have been plenty of times when Dale Steyn has troubled India because it was assisting seamers on day one. So Indian pitches in the past used to have those characteristics where there was something in it for pacers, good for spinners in days 4 and 5, and overall good for batting. So, and that is why you had so many great test batters that the Indian batting lineup was an envy of everyone else, even Australia. But with the pitches like we have right now, and with absolutely no, essentially it's now an ego clash. It's like you won't even accept that your pitches are trash, and that's the reason even the development of the batters is suffering.
Gurkirat is back with us. More questions to take because we're here for a while. 125 for 3, by the way. 17 overs gone. And Umar Zai and Nabi have been actually putting on a good stand, let alone show. And like I said, more questions. Chaitanya, yeah, it is actually that. Exactly. Bang on. 1 anchor / 2 experts. You can tell who's who clearly. And Tushar, Rituraj has a finger injury, actually. So he's not even in the squad. So he's not dropped. He's actually injured with regards to that. Who else
Yeah,
do we
but he
have?
won't make the squad. He
He
won't
won't
make
make the
the
squad
squad.
anyway. In terms of the pecking order, it's almost Yashasvi Jaiswal, I'd like to say, but then people will say Rohit. then Jaiswal, then Gill, then Gaikwad, which is quite ridiculous. Mukesh bowling now means Bishnoi bowling the 19th, maybe Nicks. I was also looking at that with regards to who will be bowling the last three. Remember, Arshdeep has one, Mukesh has one, Akshar got bowled out, like Gurkirat mentioned, 2 for 23 in his four, and
Gone.
bowled him. Mukesh
Right.
does strike, and
Ah,
it's a good dismissal that. And Bishnoi has been expensive, none for 35 three overs. I don't know whether Rohit will give him his four or that 1 over, or that, beg your pardon, 2 overs that Dube bowled was a good filler indeed. My comment skipped saying superhero rises. Don't worry, man. Rohit doesn't deserve to be in the team, he goes on to say, and no one should question Virat. He deserves to be in the team. So clearly, superhero, we know who your superhero is with regards to where you're coming from. But yeah, asterisks, like Som said, asterisks. But I won't just count on you as an anchor, Avnish, like in broadcasters, you do bring up good points. That, oh, thanks. I mean, it really flatters me that you think that. And if all you guys do agree with him, please give this a like. RK Crick Talk, he's looking to answer this because he says we have good backups with the bat, but we're not having good backups with the ball, question mark. So do you think pool-wise strength and depth are good?
We have good backups for top order bats. We have to be a little more specific. We have good backups for top order bats. I think in ODI cricket we have a lot of good backups. In test matches we don't know. As far as bowlers are concerned, I think we have also not given a lot of younger ones or the talented ones a longish rope. Because again, the the ICC tournaments being there. Avesh Khan got a decent enough rope before the 2022 World T20, and he did not perform, so he was rightfully dropped. Umran got a rope, but he's now out. We don't know what is the plan with him, whether he will play India A or not.
So is
And
it safe
then
to say that all the bowlers in this series is basically a dress rehearsal for them? Especially the Pacers, Gurkirat, whoever does well in these three, Mukesh, Avesh, and Arshdeep, simply join Bumrah and Siraj. Is that the way the BCCI are looking at it? Is that the way you look at it?
I'm not sure if Siraj will be in the reckoning, to be honest, because he was not there in the last World T20 and he's not played a lot of T20s. If he has an outstanding IPL, you never know. And then there is always, World Cup specialist Mohammad Shami. You don't know again. So yeah, you would feel that Mukesh and Ashdeep should be in the reckoning. Uh, Ashdeep, even though you'd feel post the last IPL has not had the best of controls, but he bowled really well in the ODI series. So let's see. But yeah, see, that is the problem. It is so difficult to call each and every spot. Like right now, okay, Bumrah will be there. You don't know who would be the second pacer, who would be the third pacer. You think that this person so and so should be that player, but the amount of randomness has been so high that I don't think anyone can confidently call what would really happen.
Okay, maybe Mukesh was also part of that randomness, even though he did
Short.
well. So
Yeah.
I just want to get your thoughts about that previous question with sports fan asked, saying, "Do you agree with Mukesh's inclusion in all formats?" Now he's 30, so he's a late bloomer. Obviously, he's not like a Prasid or Arshdeep, but Siraj to a certain extent, who has a little bit of age on their side. Do you think India have just kind of shoehorned him into T20s because he bowls a good Yorker and he could be the death overs bowling problem? How do you see Mukesh, not just in T20s, but generally?
I think he has been in the right place at the right time, and he has been very fit from a fast bowler's perspective, because there have been a lot of players who have been struggling with niggles and whatnot, but he has been always fit. Uh, in with regards to inclusion, when he was included, it was a surprise that he got a cap in all three formats in what, 13 days. But if you look at his performances, you cannot actually say that he doesn't deserve to be here now. So at least, so it's like the case with Shikhar Dhawan. His international numbers are way better than his domestic numbers, but he was doing his bit and he was always performing. And that's the same case with Mukesh. He has been, I mean, he had a horrible season with Delhi in the IPL, and it was like, why even he is in the T20 team? I mean, but he was there. Team saw something in him. He's essentially, he's a metronome of sorts, which I think puts him in a very good spot at the Test level, somewhat at the ODI level as well. But what works in his favor in T20s is that he can bowl the short ball as well, and has the Yorker too. And so far, he's not been that Harshal level bad economy that that he should be out. But having said that, I have a feeling he's one of those players who wouldn't be given a long rope. If he doesn't click in a couple of series, he'll be out, and you won't even remember that. Oh, he also played for India once in so and so format. I still see him as a long term option in tests, but white ball still, I feel there is a lot more to be done.
Yeah,
I
you
think
talk about
I think
uh
more
go
importantly,
on.
what has gone in Mukesh's favor is that, numbers aside, I think whosoever he's played under, the captain has felt that this bowler gives me a semblance of control.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He will bowl where I'll ask him to. So sometimes as a captain, maybe that is
That's
what you
also
look
that's also because like I think Ishan Sharma said that in the podcast that he's so like uh, Pavam and like captain's bowler and Dum. Like what, I have the ball in my hand, but whatever you tell me, I'll do it. It's fine, which is also good by itself. But he's already played. You talk about a handful of T20 internationals. Good, yeah, he's played 12. Do you think that's good enough evidence to give a bowler confidence, saying, "Okay, fine, I'm not looking at your numbers because you bowled in 11 innings, taken 12 wickets, so that's not like earth shattering." But the semblance of control is the biggest talking point for every captain, which is being
gone. Should be
communicated to
out.
the
Should be
coach.
out. Should be out.
Gone.
Good catch. Now,
And
I
Here,
was
here
talking
again,
about,
here again, bowling to plans.
yeah,
and two
that
for
is what I
30
was
will look good.
saying.
Yeah.
Bowling to the plans. Now, standalone, a delivery outside off to a set batter who's 42 of 26 doesn't really seem to be the greatest of ideas. But he had that field, and he was able to nail that. Bowl to that plan. And about your point, playing just 12 T20s going into the World Cup, I don't think there will be more than five players who would have played in the last 1 year or so, or from the beginning of 2023, more T20Is than him. So that's unfortunately how the scheme of things is currently. So 12 T20s in today's times is a lot.
He, he's
It's actually a lot.
he's basically the Avesh Khan of this cycle in terms of
Yeah,
T20 World Cups. The only
with
difference
with
is
with,
he has
with better
been
performance.
good.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
better performance.
because with Mukesh, I mean, you can really look at his stats available on cricket.com, by the way. It's not a plugin of any sort, but really not great numbers. But it's about bowling to plans, being the captain's bowler, and maybe he could just shoe on himself in that squad as a backup
Very,
pacer.
very, very much like Mohit Sharma when he began.
Yeah, I agree. Rajesh, meanwhile, saying, is there any chance with Deepak Chair if he had a good IPL 2024? Even if he does have a great IPL, takes 45 wickets, I don't know whether he'll be fit to make that plane because that's the thing
He
with.
played one game versus Australia, and then he had to fly back due to some medical emergency. Not sure if it was his or someone in the family.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't see Deepak Chahar. I mean, if he does, I'll be surprised because his he's been injured so often.
Hmm.
I genuinely cannot recall from the beginning of 2022 him playing five straight games. Five
Yeah.
straight games. I'm not talking of India. I'm just talking of five straight games.
You almost think of having a small quiz now and be like, yeah, name cricketers who are frequent with injuries. All of us will say Deepak Chair blindfoldedly. Like it's insane because we resonate him so
Yeah,
much.
I would
This,
say Hardik Pandya first, but yeah, I mean Deepak Chahar would definitely be maybe Sundar second, Deepak Chahar third, but
yeah.
that is also because you need Hardik and Sundar a lot
Oh,
more.
Oh, drop. I was actually going to get Sundar into this conversation right here, right now, because I don't know whether Rohit has thrown him out because of the matchups towards Najibullah. 2 for 40, two for none. I mean, none for 14 and it's two so far, and he's bowling the 19th Gurkirat. Now, how important is he a player? Is he super important because apart from Ashwin, he's the only off spinner, and plus he can bat and all of that. But how much does his domestic record in the recent past go against him?
I'll be very honest. I don't think this management is looking at domestic numbers, because if they were, it would sort of reflect in selections for the test matches at least.
So
I
is it just because he's a rare breed? The only off spinner who can bat.
It's see, there are few other options. I mean, this management has not given any sort of look into Sai Kishore, who's had fantastic numbers. Yes, he's a left arm off spinner, but a left arm orthodox spinner. But I'm just talking of. I think they've gone to Washington Sundar is because the one thing you've felt is in this management's DA is that they are comfortable with players who they have seen. If that player is fit, they will go back to that player. There's a reason why Iswaran keeps making the squad when someone's injured but never gets a game. So I think that is the reason why they've gone to Washington, because Washington Sundar has not had he has had a lot of batting potential, but that batting potential hasn't developed. I do feel that in the absence of Jadeja, especially overseas, India should actually play him in test matches. But again, I don't know why they don't do it. So
I mean, it's fair to understand that both
See,
Gurkirat and Som wants
the three
you,
spinners that India have played
but you
today.
want Sundar, right? You want Sundar in your World Cup 11.
Yeah,
Both of you
I was
want him.
coming to that. The three spinners that India have played today, this is the best combination of spinners that they can play, which ensures they get batting depth, which also ensures that the three spinners that they have played, they are not liabilities in the field.
So in these
And
three games, then
all
Gurkirat.
three of them offer something different.
So in these three games, then what are you expecting from a management perspective from Washington Sundar?
I hope he gets to play all three games.
But in those three games, and if he gets a good amount of game time, what do you want that to kind of translate to in terms of statistics and numbers of the ball?
I'm hoping not just with the ball. I'm hoping that at least in one of the games he's able to play a 15 ball 30 kind of a cameo. That gives them some confidence with the bat. So yeah, and with the ball, see, with the ball he's been more than decent and been able to deliver on the roles that have been given to him. It's with the bat where his ability has not come through.
So with the ball, like he said, his plans are much more evident in terms of bowling in the power play, bowling against left-handers, maybe bowling in the death around the wicket. But with the bat, what are you expecting from Sundar?
So, two, three things here. A, I would tell him that, boss, you are in our World Cup team, World Cup squad. So, at least play games with that confidence. Your place is locked because of what you bring to the table. You cannot not have an off spinner in your squad, because you would be playing uh, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and teams where you would need an off spinner. So, A, give him that confidence. And like Gurkirat, I just want him to play all three games and get at least chance to bat in two of them. Second is, I essentially look at him as a matchup bowler. I know in the past he has been used as a power play specialist and whatnot, but essentially I think for in this team he's essentially solving a matchup issue. So I would restrict his role to that, unless and until, of course, he is needed on a turning track where even him against right-handers would be a good option. Third would be, I think he's bowling at the dead today because it's a good thing. India had other options. India definitely would have bowled Bishnoi, but they want to try. They want to see what these guys do under pressure. And actually, I would have loved for Shivam Dube to bowl this over instead of Arshdeep, because you already know what Arshdeep is bringing to the table. You already know what Bishnoi is bringing to the table. Why not challenge the others who you are sort of preparing for the bigger event? So yeah, that's about it. And Sundar is locked, not just in the squad, in the 11 for me.
If I'm not wrong, I think Sundar made it to the Asia Cup squad. He played the final, if I'm not wrong, did not get to
Yeah,
bowl. And I think
yeah.
he played the third ODI versus Australia, where he did a decent job.
And he went to the Asian Games, remember?
Asian Games, though.
I mean,
Hon-
that's also there. I remember
that's
he went from
only
Colombo
you know
to Hangzhou and
only
then he
Sanju
came back.
Samson. Only Sanju Samson is one player who did not make it to the any of the squads at that point of time.
Yeah, but I think I mean, Abito, it's like a sailed ship. But I still feel that the only reason Sanju Samson was not in the Asian Games squad because they knew that they have to keep him in case of any injury to the World Cup batters,
Yeah, yeah,
because
for sure.
he's the only batter they could have recalled.
Exactly. By the way, let us know what you guys are having for dinner. I know Som will probably go get his in a bit because there are three balls left to the first innings. Sridhar Deshpande, good question. Keep them coming through. And of course, please hit the like button for not just Sridhar, but all the other people watching this platform right now. That could be a wide. Yeah, that is a wide. So Afghanistan 149 for five with three balls to go. They could get to 160 with a couple of lusty blows, at least set a target of 160 for India. How you guys replying, highlighting a name? I don't know how to do that. Saying superhero rises, it's fine. YouTube, you can Google it. Quick crazy Knicks elsewhere. Hasaranga 5 for 17 in his 5 overs. Zimbabwe tottering at 77 for 7, saying Knicks in 18 overs. Thanks for that update, Knicks. And
Hasaranga against a smaller nation. I mean, what else do you expect?
I think Hasaranga is also going to be captain of that T20 international side that they announced with Matthews back in it and all of that. Nurulak saying, just guys, just want to know a thought. If it all, Mohsin has an extraordinary IPL, say 25 to 28 wickets in his usual six per economy. Would you have him as a reserve? He can swing and hit the deck. Steam. By the way, I know he hasn't played any international matches, but if he does that in Lucknow, he should be able to overseas better. Left arm. We've never seen it happen, and I don't think it will. I mean,
I have a keen eye on his fitness because to me he seemed unfit in last season, and he was
Yeah,
not bowling
he was not fully fit. He was bowling
yeah,
in 130s, and
yeah.
you felt that he was
Shorter run
bowling with
up.
a shorter
Yeah,
run up.
yeah.
oh, 1 second. Now he's trying to uppercut that
Oh,
over and he'll go for four. It's a valiant effort, that, to be
I mean,
fair.
do
Bushnoi
any
made
of
a
you
good
guys
effort.
see Najibullah as a Sasta Puran?
Yeah, it could be. An oldie version of a poodle. Oldie version. By the way, Somesh bhai, lock kaise? Rohit or India hai? Last minute Ashwin Anna entry is locked, he
This
goes
is
on
what
to
I want
say.
to avoid. That's why I feel he's a lock. But let's see. हो तो सकता है if Washington Sundar is ruled out in the middle of the IPL, which is highly likely, then Ashwin तो फिर Ashwin lock है. Well, you have to have either of them in the squad. I mean, there is no doubt about it.
Bishnoi actually
Unless
covered good ground. He actually covered good enough ground to reach to the ball.
And by the way, this is an excellent question that Sridhar, I didn't miss it, Sridhar. I saw it. What are your views on senior player taking leave from match for family reason? Familiar question that I threw to someone in the office. And but so why don't you answer this, bro? I
मेरे
don't
से
know
तो
if you answered
survive
it.
me already. I've had my shares of abuses after tweeting my opinion on this. But yeah, it's elitism of the highest order.
Gurkirat, where do you stand in this? Because even if Virat wanted to take a break, should he have said, look, I'm only making myself available from the second and third one, instead of saying, yeah, I'm available, and then suddenly personal reasons? It could be emergency. Look, we're just guessing and don't get us wrong, but like still, there could be a way to go about it, right?
See, this one's a very difficult one to comment on purely because you don't know now. Now, and actually, what has happened is that earlier, it's not that, Indian cricketers did not used to take a break uh, when something happened in their families. I remember that the 2012 tour that you were talking about. Gautam Gambhir played the first test match, but when India had to bat in the second innings, he did not come out to bat because I think someone in his family had expired. I think probably it was his grandmother. So Pujara and Sehwag opened, and Virat Kohli came one down to finish off the target. So, what is also happening and what is causing this confusion is it is just said family reasons and nothing else is said after that. And with the recent reports that you found out, and again, I am not saying that if someone is on a break, they shouldn't really party. You really don't know. Now, if that family reason is just you want to, I don't know, if you just want to chill or if there's something else, I don't know. Maybe then it could have been planned better and it should have been communicated to the BCCI better. But if there's a genuine emergency or someone not being well, then I don't think you can avoid that. Then
Okay.
obviously you cannot. Again, it's we really don't know what has happened in that Deepak Chahar case as well. And someone can argue that it's fair that players don't want to give that information that what has happened in their family.
Or for that
And
matter,
as far
even the
as
whole
and as
Ishan
far
Kishan
as
thing, right?
let me complete. And as far as the employer knows, it's fine. That line of thinking is also okay. But all of this just makes look BCCI also very poor. That okay, you would have only selected him from the second and the third T20. So that's my bit on it.
It's ridiculous. By the way, in all of this, Afghanistan have completed their first 20 innings. They've got 158 for five. So India need 159 to win. And it'll be interesting to see Rohit Sharma and, of course, Shubman Gill bat. Not for India and ODIs, but T20s this time because there's no Jaiswal, there's no Kohli. and it'll be interesting to see how they goes. And RK Crick Talkies, you were spot on with your predictions, so well done. And see, Superhero Rises, you're going for dinner. You're going to miss an awful lot because all your other 70 people right now don't go anywhere because I will take all your questions really quickly as well, and we'll also tell you our favorite Rahul Dravid memories because look, the world turns a year wiser. What's your 11 for T20 World Cup with both Virat and Rohit? Anurag, if you're just joining us, we've been speaking about all our 11s throughout, so go rewind it. But really quickly, for the benefit of yours, question, Som, quickly, with Rohit and Virat, gun to your head. Who are the
Both of
rest
them
of the nine?
opening. Both of them
Both,
opening.
both,
Sky
yeah.
at 3, Hardik at 4, Rinku 5, Jitesh 6, one of Aksar or Jadeja at 7, Sundar 8, Bishnoi 9, Bumrah 10, Arshdeep 11.
Okay, love it. Super. And by the way, our producer saying after an intense discussion, let us remind you there's still a second innings, absolutely. And it's going to be good to see India's dapping bet, no, batting depth get a go indeed. Virat can take off all three matches when he skipped IPL, but he'll play World Cup for sure. And wonder whose bright idea was to play in the bone chilling weather. Some of the players are going to get six. I think it's just a coincidence as well. The fact that we were last year, I think, together at Soam's wedding in
भाई
that part of the
coincidence नहीं
world.
है भाई सबको पता है इस समय ठंड पड़ेगी ही पड़ेगी मतलब it's a natural
Coincidence नहीं है.
it's like
They scheduled.
I'll tell you why.
it's like
The fact that
scheduling an India Pakistan game in Ahmedabad when you know for thousands of years that Durga Puja or
Navratri.
Dussehra
that's fair,
Navratri,
but here
Navratri.
I would give them the benefit because Mohali wasn't part of the World Cup thing, so they wanted to give one fixture like Indore as well. Maybe I don't know why Bangalore. Maybe because
Could have
Bangalore is
given
not.
it to.
give it the fourth test versus England, fifth test जब
So,
तक मार्च
by
में
the way, they also scheduled a World Cup game in Delhi on 6th of November. November starts, getting like it becomes difficult to breathe in Delhi in
yeah
November. And both Sri Lanka and Bangladesh had cancelled their practice sessions purely because of that reason. And yeah,
In a way,
North India at this point of time is going to be cold.
but
It's
in a
it's
way, this series is pretty much your house, Gurkira, then Somesh's house, and then my house, bro.
yeah
What are the odds of that?
actually it is that way come to think of it.
It's quite ridiculous. By the way, Sachin Upadhyay, good to see you again. Saying elitism, the amount of cricket we see these days is family time not important. The amount of time they spend away from family. Yes, Virat should have said add me in the squad from T20. I don't know if he's defending Virat here, but
I think he meant from the second T20.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean no comments.
no comments
I
indeed.
mean, I agree with I feel what I'm saying is I mean that's my opinion. I agree with it. I mean I don't need to elaborate it further because with Virat and Rohit there is always extreme bias in response with which I get from people. You lose your sense of objectivity because I can clearly I mean there is I can have data suggesting that no other cricketer takes as much break as Virat Kohli does. I mean he's entitled to, but not in this format. If this would have been an ODI, this would not have been a case at all. Miss the entire series. Go chill. You deserve to. But not when this is the last series before the World Cup and you need to understand your 11 and your spot is not guaranteed in the first place.
Yeah, so this is, my mind goes back to the Border Gavaskar Trophy of 2020-2021. Virat came back, which is he's well within his right to. Also
Absolutely.
because it was the birth of his first child, and it's a moment which you are not even sure if it's going to come again in your life. Let's
Yeah.
be very honest, and it's completely fair. To criticize him for that, I thought was unfair, and to compare cricketers to those who are on the borders, I feel it's the massive
First,
disrespect to
yeah.
those who are in the uniform. But in the same tour, you had Muhammad Siraj staying back when his father had passed away, and you had Natarajan staying back uh, even when there was the birth of his daughter. Now, what comes up here is the respective privileges. Siraj and Natarajan both knew that they may not get a chance to play for India again. Because Ishan Sharma was not there in the squad. Mohammad Shami got injured after the first test. Natarajan wouldn't really have played, and that remains the only test match that Natarajan has played.
Yeah.
So, and again, in this case, you could argue very well that those privileges have been earned, and that is fair. So, it is also like that. Some players have earned that privilege and that credit, and some, even if they want to now, demise of your father is probably the one of the worst things that you can encounter upon. But such was the situation that Siraj knew that if he comes back, he's not sure when he'll play, when he'll get the chance to play that. So it's just like that.
Yeah, and it's an
You can
excellent
understand
comparison
why
there.
those two cricketers chose to stay back, and you can very well understand why Virat chose to come back, and he could have, because he had earned that privilege. I can take that leave.
No, absolutely. And it's a very good example that you draw with Siraj and Natarajan on that tour, indeed. By the way, lots of people joining us in this halfway break. Remember, India chasing
And see, it's
159.
not different. It's not different. People in their professional lives, when they have to prioritize their professional life,
Yeah.
they tend to make personal sacrifice. It goes with everyone. It's just because
Yeah,
the life of cricketers are a celebrity-driven life. It's being pictured that way, but it's a part of life.
yeah.
It's not.
I think sometimes we in India do tend to attach, like this attachment that comes of comparing it with those on the borders, or making it look like, oh, it is something greater than what everyone does.
It's
I
chalk and
think
cheese.
that takes the objectivity away.
Yeah.
That takes the objectivity away. And then when you're already not viewing it from an objective lens, your personal biases of who your favorite is, who isn't, then you start judging them very, very, very differently.
No, absolutely. In fact, Chaitanya Padal had a question, which I'll give it to Taji and Som in just a bit because it's a good one, and we can hear from them before India come out to bat. It's pretty cool, like we've been repeatedly saying in this
I
watch
think
along.
this is a repetitive comment. We've already
Yeah,
answered this, and I think there are a couple more. I think Raja Human wants to understand the 11 as
Ra-
well. Maybe
yeah,
we
for
can
sure.
put
But
out as comments in
they
11
can.
with Rohit and Virat in it, and one which should ideally be the case.
No, I
So
think
my
Chaitanya.
11
I think
my 11
Chaitanya wanted to know you guys
Ramesh,
in terms of 11 about not just the ones that the management's picking, but generally 11
my
generally.
11's
But
the
before
same.
that, one sec. Before that, can we please answer the Afghanistan fan who's been in the chat? Rehmat, wherever you're watching from, please subscribe, and we'll of course quickly just touch upon this because they still have 8 more T20s before the T20 World Cup. So they're doing everything right. I know there was a little hiccup, Som, with that whole Faruqi, Mujib, and not to forget who was the other one, Naveen as well, with that NOC. But right now, do you think Afghanistan can they take a lot of positives from the ODI World Cup and translate it to the T20 World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, good that they've extended the contract for Jonathan Trott. He made a clear difference. That was very clear watching that team from up close. There was clarity in thought, and it was very clear that Jonathan Trott is the captain of the team and not Hashmatullah Shahidi, because there were a lot of times when Hashmat was actually at mid off and there was someone else who was discussing plans with the bowler. So that was the case, and it's good to see because Jonathan Trott has been there, done that sort of a situation. In terms of T20, I'll say it out loud. I don't know what Rahmat Shah is doing in the 11 because he's not a T20 player. I'm pretty sure the kind of cricket that Afghanistan have played over the years, they can find some youngster who is a more of a power hitter than Rahmat Shah. Because if you have Ibrahim Zadran in the setup, you already have your anchor sorted. So Rahmat Shah is not needed. That's one aspect. And then I would like to see, if I'm not missing, is Naveen playing the game today? If not, he should be there. And of course, Rashid will come back. Also, Noor is not there. So still, there are still some question marks about the ideal 11. But all in all, they do have, at least they have the bowlers. If they can just find a couple more hitters to assist what Azmatullah Omarzai has been, developing into, it'll be very good for them.
You're on mute.
Fuck, sorry. Just quickly, Som. Zadran as captain doesn't sit well for you because he's what? Obviously an ODI-esque player more than
Yeah, but that's
T20.
fine. I mean, again, ek anchor I'm okay with. More than one, I'm not.
Okay, fair enough. Gurkirat, your thoughts on Afghanistan, in particular Faruqi and their bowling arsenal, and looking at them taking that arsenal to the West Indies. Can they fare really well?
See, you'd feel that someone like Naveen can do well on those pitches.
Yeah.
And of course, they can take a lot of heart from that ODI World Cup, because they did not panic a lot of times you've seen or associated with Afghanistan that they end up panicking from a winning situation. That really did not happen. You'd hope, and I hope Nikhil's not watching because it's a pain point for him. You'd hope that they take their catches. uh, but yeah, otherwise, I do feel that maybe they can add one proper batter somewhere, because their 11 now has Kareem Jannat at 7, Gulbuddin Naib at 8, and Najibullah also at 6. You're not really sure. Like on his day, definitely he can finish off those games. He did that in that Asia Cup, where I think Bangladesh got.
Oh, it could be a run out here. There is a run out straight away. Oh
Uh,
my word. Rohit and Gill, who opened all the time, and Gill is absolutely livid. Rather, Rohit Sharma's livid. We've all seen that Bagh Puji Bagh meme, but now it's going to be Bagh Shubman Bagh, because Rohit can't believe it. And I want to get Som's reaction right now, because he was looking at us. But look at the calling here, Som. I mean, obviously it's Rohit's call. It has to be Rohit's call.
Gill was never running. Gill never committed to it. It's
Ball
Gill's error
watching.
if he commits to it. He's ball
Yeah.
watching. That I give it. I agree with that. But I mean, it's not like he sold Rohit a dummy that he took 2 steps ahead and then came back.
I just have one thing to say. A lot of Virat Kohli fanatics. I'm not calling them fans because I think they're not worthy of being called fans. A lot of Virat Kohli fanatics have had a lot of criticism against Shubman Gill since he scored that 100 in Chinnaswamy. And today, a lot of Rohit Sharma fanatics will be after Shubman Gill after this run out. So, and you see, that's this reaction from Rohit sums up how he's also under pressure. You could have been playing the top flight sport for 15 years now, but there is still pressure. That reaction was due to that pressure, because Rohit knows there is an obvious question mark on his place, and then to lose your wicket like this, it is bound to frustrate anyone. It is
Why,
bound
why
to
is it
frustrate.
why is it well deserved, sports fan? It shouldn't be, you shouldn't do that, man. It's
And
not
one more
right.
thing, see, you got to understand why Gill was ball watching, because there was a chance of this being a boundary.
Exactly. So doesn't
So
that make
I,
his fault
I don't
more?
see anything that Gill did wrong here. Rule number 1: never run on a misfield.
But it wasn't a misfield. I mean, he corrected it cleanly. But all I'm saying, generally, even we played the
See, Gill,
game, right?
Gill is well within his rights to watch it. What if it's a 4? I mean, how would he know if it's a 4? How is this ball? This is not ball watching. This is basic of non-striker, whatever, cricket.
Uh, Rohit is just like, it's my call. You go for it when I'm saying that. And I think even, I mean, I don't know what Vikram Rathore or Rahul Dravid's going to say about that. But run out gets Baji on his nerves. Drop catches get similar reaction from Nikhil. Absolutely. News coming in out that Gill will have a back spasm just before the second T20. Shubman, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love that from you. Isn't that Rohit's call, guys? Come on. That's what I thought, but I don't know. I mean, you guys can agree or disagree.
अरे भाई, but call करके आंखें भी तो खोल के रखोगे ना. If the other guy is not leaving his crease, go back.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Look, let's see how Gill
Honestly,
read it.
I'm not sure it was an obvious run. I'm not even
Yeah.
sure of that.
Oh, and now Gill's gonna be under full pressure here, man.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a spoiled sport and go back to the Afghanistan talk while we are in this mood. But I have my question marks over Gulbuddin Naib as well. I'm not sure what he actually brings to the table. I would rather have someone like a Noor, who I know obviously that he's a quality bowler. And I have been hearing from GT's management that Noor can bat as well. So might as well
No,
give
Noor
this.
can bat.
But that means
Noor did decently.
that's 16 over the spin then, so
It doesn't matter. Oh,
Short.
you are playing in West Indies. कहीं भी खेल रहे हो भाई. Spin of quality of Noor Ahmed, you'll take it.
so basically you'll have Faruqi and then you'll have Jannat and Omarza as your pacers.
Yeah.
And 16 overs कहाँ हुए? 12 भी हुए. Nabi is more of a matchup bowler.
Okay, fine, fair. So Rashid,
And
Mujib,
there isn't a
Noor,
possibility
and
of there isn't a possibility of Rashid, Noor, and Mujib, all three of them playing.
Ashutosh meanwhile saying, come on, Gulbuddin is a 12th man for India. And not sure why you guys say he deserves it in cricket. Everyone should remember no one I mean, one don't run on drop catches or fumbles. Absolutely. So World Cup was hugging or Virat. How do they do test matches if Rohit thought? I don't know what that meant. I mean, can you rephrase that, Vasant, please? If you don't mind. Including Hardik is a waste of time because of his fitness and waiting for Rohit fanatics to claim Gill is sabotaging his World Cup
Yeah, that,
spot.
I've already said that.
Saying Akhil Nair. Raj, Ashutosh, Vasant, Kushal, all you guys are legends, by the way, on this, what is it, Thursday evening. So please subscribe. Mujib into the attack, and Tilak's going to face up to him. And look, I mean, this could be a potential banana skin for India, Gurkirat. If they do lose here, does that give you any indication that they're on the right path, wrong path for that World Cup?
See, you know me so far that I don't make conclusions on the basis of one game. They could lose despite doing everything right. That is one thing that can happen in the T20 format, which is also, that despite India not really planning well, if they have a few individuals step up time and again, they could go with a suboptimal team and still win this tournament, because
Yeah.
that's the nature of the format. And then you might think, okay, everything has gone well, etc., etc. So, but yeah, if they lose today, then a lot more pressure on Rohit and a few others who are playing for their spot.
Yeah, but how the trend has been normally with India and bilaterals, win all bilaterals but then fail miserably in the ICC. I take it the other way along 100%. Moy clip needed on clip saying Santa de Cruz indeed. And Agakar is basically an overpaid Chetan Sharma saying Mukul Jala, good to see you. Is Mujib better than Noor? Why is he playing him over? Obviously, they offer two different things. Mujib just has more experience, but how do
Not
you
only
see
that,
that?
I think his upskill in batting has also played a part. He's really upskilled his batting.
Yeah. All right. Max Bojo saying so far we've heard really good points on why Kohli and Roach shouldn't be in the squad. Now, Avnish, you want to know why they should be in the squad? Tell us why. Kohli should still go play the World Cup in an opener form. I mean, for sure. Rohit, obviously, I would like to see him there only if Hardik Pandya isn't there. So who else is going to lead? So Rohit and Kohli with regards to that, and of course with the money and all of that kind of stuff. By the way, there were more questions coming through, which I'll take right now. What more important for number seven batting or bowling in India in playing vision? Will take that. And Ashutosh Sharma, thank you. I think I do a good job. And I don't know how I look, but if I do look better, then I'm great. There was another comment about looks and Gurkirat being the most dapper on this panel. I wouldn't disagree with that because he's, of course, not just dressed for the weather, but he's pulling out all his fine blazers. December, January, that's the time of year. So good to see that. By the way, if you guys are joining us, Sports 18, Gurkirat is also watching the match right now. Even I am 8 for 1 India, and they're chasing 159. We were discussing many things. One thing that we parked for a while is the Rahul Dravid best memory. We'll get that when Somesh is back. But I want to ask Gurkirat the question that Chaitanya Patil asked you a while ago, saying, guys, let's be honest, if you had to be a
Can you
selector,
bring the question on the screen? Yeah.
what is your ideal 11? Take anyone you think based on skill sets, not from the POV management. So this World Cup, the floor is yours. Pick whoever.
So Yashasvi is one opener. The other could be Shubman or Ruturaj. I'm actually fine with either. I don't think there's a massive difference. Uh, you could go with Shubman right now because he's been ahead in the pecking order, but I don't think there's a lot of difference. Number three, Surya Kumar Yadav. Four, oh, or you could even have Tilak at four and Tilak at three and Sky at four. I mean, that is something that you can interchange depending upon who's been dismissed. If a right hand has been dismissed, you could send in Sky. If Yashasvi gets dismissed, you could send in Tilak. So that is my top four. Five, if Hardik's fit, then he's there. Six is Rinku. Seven is Jitesh, and Akshar eight, and then Bishnoi and two pacers. So but the problem with this lineup is that I will need on the odd occasion Tilak or Yashasvi to chip in with overs because I have Jitesh at seven. So
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
Hardik is my fifth bowler. If there is no Hardik, then probably I could go with Rinku at five, Jitesh at six, Akshar seven, Washington eight, and then I can have Bishnoi and two pacers.
You mentioned Bishnoi there. Just wanted to know if he's your incumbent spinner heading into the World Cup, or do
Yeah,
you
he's my
play?
number one spinner. He's my number one spinner.
Would there
Kuldeep
ever
has
be a
improved. Kuldeep
would there
has
be a
improved.
case to play both of them, Kuldeep and Bishnoi?
Not in T20s because you will have to sacrifice batting depth.
All right, fair enough. Even no matter the conditions, horses for courses, so on and so forth. By the way, Indians to be run out in the first over in T20 internationals. Cricket.com has you covered because we tell you nuggets like these. Virendra Sehwag versus Australia in 2008 and versus Sri Lanka in 2009. Then Ajinkya Rahane against Zimbabwe in 2015. And not to forget Gaikwad versus Australia in the last series in 2023. And then Rohit Sharma today. So not a good sign, not a good club to be in. But if you find yourselves in that club, well done. Just wanted to know the opinion of Gurkirat on the Indian women's cricket team and Harman. Your two pence on that, sir, because of course Monday Night Live we spoke about that. But talk to me about just her behavior, how she mentioned Sriyanka Patil's name for the benefit of Tiger Rose before we move along and talk about other things. 13 for 1, by the way, India. Gurkirat, take it away.
Now this is one thing where I really am not the expert, but from what I have followed, obviously Harman's has not had a good series with the bat, and she's been struggling rather. There was a lot of controversy about the comment that she made about probably Sri Lanka bowling that well, but what I read was it was answer to two different questions. It was made into one quote by one publication, but yeah, see, Harman. That has been the case with Harman even before the 2022 Women's World Cup, the ODI World Cup. I remember her not being in great form with the bat, but then come the World Cup, she delivered. She had some 4 or 5 50s. So it's been an issue with Harman in terms of not being very consistent enough with the bat. She's exactly the opposite of the Indian team. She will not do much in bilaterals, but she turns up in World Cups. So I think she has a lot of tax, like World Cup tax or credit in the bank that way. Apart from that, with her being as captain again, from what I have read, I felt that as the like it's something that you can say with the men's team as well, that you could change the managements, but the reluctance, or the reluctance to do new things, or the reluctance to keep, or the stubbornness to keep trying the same things keeps happening again and again, because you still don't understand why Deepthi gets promoted and bats ahead of a few good hitters, whether it is ODI or in T20s. And there have been a few players who've been dropped. You're really not sure if Sneh Rana will come into the scheme of things once again. So not sure how much is it entirely the call of the captain, or the coach is also being involved in that. uh, but yeah, probably this is one question that can be asked to the experts of women's cricket. I don't get to follow it as much, even though I want to.
Okay, appreciate the honesty and the modesty, Paji. Good answer there. And especially with Akshay and the girls doing what they've been doing for the Watchalongs on the women's cricket side of things on cricket.com. Go check out their opinions. And of course, Monday Night Live, Nix and me have had to say what we had to say about Harmanpreet. 19 for 1, Mujib to continue to Tilak. And India right now looking a little iffy with their running. Again, they scamper through for a little quick single. Avinash Kumar, good to see you. He's randomly stated Deepak Chair's father suffered a brain stroke and was hospitalized, so he had to rush. Later, he updated everyone on Insta by posting a picture with his father. Akam Bamwe, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I don't understand this question. How many times during the match, if you're trying to be cheeky, we don't do it during the match. We, of course, understand there is life after the match as well, whatever you're insinuating. IPL franchisees are smarter than the BCCI facts, saying Chun Chun Ke Luga, and so many random questions, reasons are told by the BCCI that mental health breaks are also not looked with concern. I fully agree with you. Somesh is back with his dinner, which is good to see. Also, Paji in Siraj's case, there was a mandatory lockdown you had to complete for. Yeah, but look, he was just trying to
Yeah,
get the
that's what
fact
I'm
that
saying. No, that had he gone back, he wouldn't have got a chance to play. So
okay, fair enough. Rajesh Singh, just for fun, Somesh, let's so have his dinner and react accordingly. I don't want to give him too many questions right now because it'll just be rude. And also, what was the other question that I just wanted to show you guys right now? It was one which came from SVK307. This is a question that will be asked in today's watch along on Sunday's watch along and the watch along for the third T20 International. So we'll keep try to give you the best bits, SVK, but let us know as well. What is yours? What is your final 15 you want to take for the West Indies? Tell me your captain and tell me permutation combinations, because right now India are looking for an all-rounder. Hardik is being, of course, nursing his injuries. Gill's
God.
gone down the track for 6 or one bounce 4. But this has been, I don't know, either kick up the backside for Shubman Gill, but he's been brilliant so far. First 11 balls, 23, and he's taking it against spin as well. So he's trying to answer a few critics as well. Thoughts on Hampshire Capitals? Yeah, we saw that, Greg. We'll come to that later on in the show. And Prajwala, if you're
They're
new to
not
the channel,
that
please subscribe,
that
Prajwala.
management, that ownership management is not able to. Oh
Oh,
God,
gone.
God.
Gone. I've jinxed it. Gill's probably walked down too many. And just when one gill was trying to open up, the other gill perishes.
Yeah, I was talking about the Hampshire Capitals, but this is actually good bowling by Mujib. He really pulled back his length and turned it a lot more. I'm a bit surprised with the speed bit though. It says 103 kmph. I'm not sure if it was actually that fast because it looked like as if it came on much slower. But good bowling by Mujib.
Absolutely. SPK, I agree with you. If Hardik is available, then he should be the captain. Nothing against Rohit, but honestly, want him to move on. We all want him to move on, but ultimately, I'm just trying to think to myself, if Hardik isn't there, then Rohit should be there, because you look at this current squad right now. Maybe they can make Sky captain like Gurkit at the Knicks. I mean, beg your pardon, Som have been saying as well. Rohan Patel loves these kind of questions. We'll probably put a poll out saying sexiest man alive. Somesh, Kukirat, Abnish, Akshay, Nix. I definitely think the answers will be going somewhere with that. Mukul going on to say BCCI wants to milk whatever is left of Rohit and Virat's cricketing career. What they don't realize is that they won't allow future superstars to develop. We've been harping this for the longest time, Mukul, but we appreciate your point of view over there. Do you think this casual leave and optional practice is a thing on trend in the Rovid era? I love it. Absolutely love the pun
Optional
there.
practice has been there for I think more than a decade. Optional practices have always been there. Uh,
And there is nothing
the
wrong in optional practice.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we have any data to go by on the casual leave bit, but yes, you do see players resting a lot more, and I think that is also fair given the amount of cricket that happens now. It did not used to happen earlier. The problem is that despite all that resting and everything, you are not able to develop the newer crop of players, or you're not able to separate pools for each format. That is a bigger problem. For me, your mainstays taking rest is okay. uh, Bumrah taking rest is fine because you know you need him to be there and you want to extend their careers. I hope India look at Ravindra Jadeja from that lens as well, because he's a very important cricketer for India in terms of test matches, both in India and abroad. And which is why I feel that at some point of time, India need to tell him, okay, you should also not be playing T20s because this is not your best format. We'd
Yeah.
rather have you play the other two formats. Because make no mistake, when it comes to the test side, uh, regardless of where you play, you know, two names that will always make the 11 is Bumrah and Jadeja. Because without Jadeja you cannot play five bowlers in test matches, and you will struggle to play seven batters as well. So there is that.
Yeah, points noted indeed. By the way, Neural saying, Avnish, my dream come true. I told that two quick wickets and Dube will be in the power play itself. We are 100%. Let's see how that next 11 balls goes, guys. 28 for 2. If you're joining us from wherever, please like this video. It helps with the algorithm. Tell a person about cricket.com. We just literally crossed 43.5K subscribers on YouTube and onwards and upwards, and some great positive comments as well, which is always good to see. Som, I think, is just quickly digesting his dinner, and I'll give this to you boys right now. Pajin Somesh off topic, but if you don't mind a word on the guy who debuted at the age of 12 in the Ranji, that Vaibhav Suryavanshi, and what do you think it does for the game? Is that sending a good messaging out, or is there a lot of
What there was an interview of his by that he's 14, and I think he debuted for Bihar, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, in the very same game where two teams landed up. So, see, I've not seen that player, so I can't comment on his talent. or how long will he go, etc., etc. But that 12 or the 14 bit, if someone has to be blamed for it, it has to be the coach itself, because at that age the child or the person himself is not taking those decisions. Those 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 decisions have been probably been taken by the parents, which has been influenced by the coach. So you have to catch hold of those guys and ask them that, okay, what is his real age? Is it 12 or is it 14? And I again, without really seeing that player, can't say that, okay, is he really talented or is he playing because there's a dearth of talent, etc., etc. I don't think it would be fair. But yeah, even if you consider that he's 14, playing Ranji Trophy at 14 is quite an achievement, and the pressures of it will be very, very difficult to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, apparently he entered the ground with Suryavanshi. But speaking of entering the ground, David Warner entering the ground through the helicopter for that Sydney Thunders in the BBL. Well done over there. And Santosh asking how many are switching to the ST20. Yesterday, I don't think we saw any action, right? Because of the
Yeah,
rain
Pandya.
spoiling spoil sport. On the fact of random questions being taken, because India are kind of snoozing in this power play right now. 32 for 2, 5 overs
You know,
gone. And
guys, just circling back to the chat earlier,
Oh,
yeah.
I
that's
just
a overthrows.
uh,
Oh, brilliant.
Overthrows gone for four.
you know, Gill's intent actually was an example of pressure being on him as well. That he knows that he's competing with Jaiswal for that high intent role, because it was an uncharacteristic innings from what we've seen from Gill over the years.
And so far, Tilak's lack of intent, also knowing that he's got his spot sorted in T20,
No, no.
taking
See,
important
now I don't think they can really afford. And how many balls has it been? I
13
mean, you
balls,
really
7
want
runs,
to.
bro.
I don't think you want to be two down in the power play.
Avnish, ऐसा सोचना कि what would you what would you judge Tilak on now? Not what he scores in after
Wi-
20 balls.
Winning
If
the
if
game.
if he finishes the game, that is what is more important, and that's what he's also thinking as well, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly, but then why could you say the same thing about Virat when he bats one down?
Finish
Okay,
him
fine.
games.
I won't poke the bear. I
Can you
won't
can you
poke the bear.
can you guarantee that India would be chasing 150 odd in World Cup semi-final and the World Cup final? If you can guarantee,
Ball.
there is no other player apart from Virat that I would want to have in the 11.
Yeah.
Guarantee me this, that India would be chasing somewhere around 150, 160 in both
Firstly,
forms.
firstly, you will. I mean, with chases, you can say probably rely on Virat for a 170, 180 chase. But can you really guarantee that India will chase? What if India have to bat first?
That's what.
Which is where it is a very difficult role also. While batting first, being an anchor is a very high risk role,
Yeah.
because you really don't know where and when you have to switch gears. And I don't think you can do much if conditions are like the ones that were there in UAE for that World T20. I thought Pakistan got a very good score in that semi when they got 178, but it did not turn out to be enough. And yes, a lot of flack was given to Babar and Rizwan, but I maintain that that day both of them had enough intent. It's just that their shots were finding the fielders. They had enough intent, but so you sometimes, despite doing everything right, you will not be able to still get enough score on the board.
Hmm.
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 And actually, to that Vasan Narayan comment on Avnish being a Virat fanboy, all Virat fans have a lot to learn from Avnish Hegde, to be very honest, because he's as diehard a Virat Kohli fan as I've ever met. But yet, he's always very composed in dealing with it. He has a set of emotions, but he understands logic as well, and he's okay to listen to it. It's not like those VK18 kind of fan accounts who are just ready, not ready to listen to anything, and it's like a abuse कि हाँ भाई तूने विराट के बारे में ऐसा कैसे बोल दिया.
Mujib has just bowled a maiden over, by the way.
I was going to
Just
come to that. The last part of the power play, like what the hell's happening? Because people in the comments are saying, Dube is in the power play. I'm going to get my popcorn saying, Vishal Kulkarni, kya sone ke liye? Like popcorn to like play games with this because 6 overs gone, 36 for 2. But let's see. I mean, I'm not going to say anything because it's been a little tricky start for India, by the way. And a little bit more random questions coming up. So let's try to keep this as short and then we'll get back to the main India chat as well. Max Mojo really quickly saying, boys, thoughts on DK's England Lions coach. Would you like to use that meme, Gurkirat? Gaddari karta hai, gaddari, gaddari karta
no, no, not really. Uh, yeah, can't really say much, no, because we don't know or we have not seen enough of DK as a coach or in that capacity to make what I have seen a little bit and read or heard is that in the last few years that he was playing a
Oh, Shivam Dube.
short.
Oh, Shivam Dube. Oh, Shivam Dube. Oh, and I've never seen a bio wear gloves, bro. It's like referees.
There is going to be a good see, by the way, just saying, at Mohali a lot of catches get dropped anyway due to the short height of these floodlights, and with the fog, because you could see how foggy it was when the ball went up, there could be a, and I think India dropped 4 catches. Anirudh had mentioned in our chat there could be a few more drop catches.
Oh,
So
100%. And Vikas
It's like a
Shukla
Leeds
conveying the
United
same.
game in December.
For
Avnish,
sure.
Leeds
Vikas saying
United
some.
home game in December. Yeah, of course, Vikas, our producer. So we have a sort of small quarter of Virat fans in the in the office with Avnish, Akshay, Vikas.
See, I generally became a Virat fan because of RCB, also because I was supporting RCB in
There
2008.
are
And
so many reasons, Avnish, and so many absolutely valid reasons to be a Virat Kohli fan. I mean, there's no doubt.
okay,
funnily
but
enough, funnily
thank
enough,
you.
I am never seen as a Virat fan.
Yeah,
But you made a living out of being a Virat
Sorry,
hater. You made a living being a Virat hater.
but I
you know,
don't hate
I
him. Those
I
who know
got
me know I
into
don't hate him.
I got into watching what I eat because of Virat Kohli. Before that, I had no clue कि ऐसा भी करना पड़ता है. I was working out हमेशा से, but I never thought कि diet be important.
No, that is
So
true.
when
Yeah,
he has influenced a lot of life in some way or the other, no doubt about
yeah,
it.
and I still maintain it. I mean, I had tweeted something on his birthday that he's not the best batter that I have watched, but he's one of the cricketers that I've enjoyed watching on the field a lot, and I have a lot to admire about him as a person also. Like how he stood up for his teammates, how he stood up for opposition. But yeah, I can't be like those कि नहीं भाई कुछ गलत ही नहीं है,
हाँ हाँ
विराट
वही
में.
मतलब
I've
तो
never
ऐसा
been
तो ऐसा
that.
तो हुआ ही नहीं ना यार.
No, that's true. By the way, more comments coming through. Please give this Watchalong a like. 47 for 2. It might go down to the wire, guys. So let us know what you think. And we normally do that game where we ask you all in just for fun and giggles, what time do you think the game will get over? So let us know in the comments right now because right now it's 9:13 and we want to know when the winning runs will be hit or when the last wicket will be taken. By the way, another random question which I want to give you guys in terms of Som and Gukirat because I know what Akshay and Nick thought about it on MNL. Meanwhile, Saturday Cruise, I saw your question. Gukirat just
Oh
reacted it
God.
a while ago. One bounce, two bounce into the fence. So India getting a move on 52 for 2, 7 overs gone. Your
You
thoughts
see
on
matchup gone wrong right here.
that is true. I mean, yeah, I agree. The fact that sometimes you literally think 1 plus 1 is 2, sometimes it's not the case. Two lefties out there with Mohammad Nabi turning it away from them. Meanwhile, your thoughts on Smith preparing for an opening role by going to Oz Open. By the way, fantastic article by Anirudh on this move by Smith. Yeah, great one. I just want to ask you about that move, boys. I mean, there are so many other options in terms of Marcus Harris, Cameron Bancroft. I mean, they've gone with Green now to bat at 4, Labuschagne at 3, and then Smith the auxiliary opener. But do you think Smith, the guy he is, the cricket geek and the nerd and the amount of just the volume of cricket he's played, he's just like, fuck it, I'll open. And I like to be like that. So, Som and Gukirat, please tell me what you think about Smith opening.
Now, I actually said it in one of my tweets yesterday that I think it's an admirable move given how opening is a tougher spot than batting at 3 or 4. Uh, Having said that, I also see the demerits of it. That how it is probably blocking a spot for a youngster, and how it is unsettling the combination because roles are not being met. Uh, and I think it's fair. I think if someone criticizes Cricket Australia or the management for it for being paying heeds to the demand of a cricketer, that's a valid criticism. But I still feel it's coming from a place where the senior player is willing to take up that difficult role, and it also allows Australia to fit in Cameron Green because Head and Marsh had said that they don't want to open, and this is the only way that they can fit in Cameron Green at 4. Whether it will be a success or a failure, we don't know. But I just had oh, shot. That's a very good shot. I have appreciation for Smith for wanting to do this. At the same time, I can see the criticism for it.
So,
My 2 cents here. You know, for me, Smith stopped being a batting beast when Labuschagne was introduced in the Australia side. Because what happened was, and this is, I'm going back to the 2019 home series when Warner was opening and then Labuschagne was at 3. And I think they were playing Pakistan. What happened was, Warner and Labuschagne were ending up scoring so many runs that Smith was not even challenged. So I used to have this discussion with Shub in the office as well कि यार Smith को भी लगता होगा कि now I'm being devoid of opportunities to score those daddy hundreds and push up my numbers because these two are essentially scoring those many runs anyway. Because let's be fair, unless and until India travel to Australia, Australia are not challenged at all. So for all their players, it's when other teams are touring, it's an opportunity to improve the numbers, which was not happening for Smith because they were two ahead of him in the pecking order, who were scoring truckload of runs anyway. So perhaps he thought this as an opportunity that let me try this. A, B, there is no real youngster in the waiting who is being devoid of an opportunity of being an opener because all the options that Australia right now have are players they've tried in the past and they were sort of dropped because they were not good enough. So
Yeah, just to add on, I personally don't rate Marcus Harris a lot. I've had a lot of issues with this technique. So now Somesh can continue.
no, so I mean this too, and the Cameroon Green point has been covered by uh, Anirudh as well, and like Gurkirat pointed out, and it's a brave thing to do. But of course, I mean, if you want to try something, might as well try in Australian conditions against a West Indies unit. Nothing to lose
yeah.
there.
Okay, it's good that you mentioned that. And generally, I feel with Smith opening now with Khwaja, Smith, and Labuschagne, they are the best batters in terms of blunting that new ball because what you have in the middle order is absolute brute power. Probably can take on the bowling in the 60th, 70th before the new ball with Head, Marsh, and Green there now slotted at 4. So let's see how that really goes. By the way, just coming back to this game right now, 62 for 2, 7.5 overs gone. India do have batting depth today, but they are, of course, consolidating after 2 early wickets. Many people are asking us about Rohit's reaction, whether it was justified. Gokira, not to sound repetitive, but just going back to that, do you think his reaction was justified asking Santa de Cruz?
It's okay, yaar. You can't in that moment. Like I said, it's a player under pressure, and when you get out like that, you do feel frustrated because you feel you've lost out on an opportunity, and it's okay. And it's not the first time Rohit has reacted like that or any other batter. It's fine. I don't think you can read too much into it. I've said this before as well. There was this image that was being created that, oh, he's calm, collected, cool, everything, but he's as expressive as someone else out there, and that's fine. You can't really have everyone mirroring MS Dhoni's persona and that calmness. It's okay.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you mentioned
धोनी
it
भी
Yeah.
pretty
खुद
So
well.
बोलता है, I mean, again, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो कभी नहीं हुआ.
हाँ, थोड़ा बहुत सीनियर प्लेयर और जूनियर प्लेयर होने का भी फर्क आ ही जाता है.
No, absolutely. And you've mentioned it at that point of time, right? Like Rohit not delivering in this game, the pressure is definitely on him. And Navasha spot on the best way to watch the watch along. Laptop में match चल रहा है और mobile में आपकी stream brilliant.
And
By the
actually,
way,
if you're Rohit,
हाँ,
just think कि there will be a lot of pent up stuff going inside you. I mean, you were head and shoulders above every team in the World Cup, lost out on that day. And then now there are question marks, people asking कि भाई तुमको खेलना चाहिए नहीं खेलना चाहिए. All this talks about pitches and whatnot. And you've lost the captaincy of a franchise that you've led so well. So there is a lot of pent up anger in him. कहीं ना कहीं तो निकलेगा ही वो. I'm not saying it's
hmm.
justified, but I mean everyone is human after all. I mean हम Xbox में खेलते खेलते भूल जाते हैं कि I mean even the players are human.
No, absolutely. Paji, why don't you take another one from CCKL, Chun Chun Keluga, which is, do you think there is a need of an anchor in T20 anymore? Why not attacker who can become anchor when needed? Because see what happened in 2022 semi-final. See what's happening right now. I mean, by no stretch of the imagination are Tilak and Dube anchors, but they play according to the situation. So, do you think we should stop labeling subtleties in T20 and every batter should just play according to the situation?
That is what good T20 batters anyway do. You need dynamic anchors or dynamic batters. I mean, there's a reason why Warner has been so successful in T20s. There's a reason why Butler has been. In fact, for that matter, sometimes Gale has also taken his time. Gale has, at times not gone after the bowler he knows can get him out and then smashed everyone else. I remember Virender Sehwag in an IPL game playing a maiden of Lasith Malinga. It's another thing that Malinga still managed to take a fifer in that game. But then there is that skill. So it's okay. You need dynamic batters, and similarly for anchors, short.
Got it.
Oh, that's a good
Well,
catch. It's a very good
Gulbadin.
catch.
Tilak
Gulbadin.
goes, Tilak goes, and Gulbadin hold on. I mean, literally, we were just trying to talk about how India will probably canter home right now, but I don't think it's going to be that. By the way, Paji, then who is the best batter for you and why? I think he means in the T20 scheme of things.
At this point, like historically, if we are looking at, I mean, AB de Villiers has been one, Gale's also been there, Warner's been there, but among the present batters, you'll have to say Warner and Butler are right up top. Butler has had a very horrible 2023, but still, you cannot really write him off.
What about Sky?
Sky, obviously, obviously.
Okay, Sky is there as well. Somesh Will
Sky
Pukovsky.
has Sky has hundreds in England, India, New Zealand, and South Africa. Probably
Hmm.
needs to play a few more T20Is in Australia, and probably he'll have one there also.
I think this T20 World Cup would be a benchmark for how people will remember Sky, in my opinion, because there have been some fair criticism of him not performing on a big stage. Apart from that innings against South Africa, which was a quality knock, and they've done it countless times in the IPL, but at the national level. So I'm not on either side of the debate. But for me, for him to actually nail down his legacy as a T20 batter, this World Cup is very important.
Okay, interesting. Let's see how Sky performs because he did deliver in some of those games, including that South Africa game, was absolutely brilliant.
And I
Paji, you
mean,
should be happy. It's wicket for Omarzai. Ah,
just to finish up with Rohan Patil, because he has been asking about Will Pukoski. He turns out to be one of a very big fan of Will Pukoski, but you need to spell him right. But nevertheless, I think Will Pukoski is one of those unfortunate stories where he has been marred by concussion so much that there were news floating around that he was considering a retirement at a very young age itself. I'm not sure if he's playing Sheffield Shield this season or not. I think Anirudh Suresh and Akash would be the ones who would know it better, who follow Australia so keenly. But at this point of time, I think he would want to take care of his health and mental health a lot more than actually having aspirations. He would have aspirations, but it's just an unfortunate case of players suffering from multiple concussions, and it sort of has ruined his career.
okay, interesting. Ashutosh Bajpai saying, why is India always rigid with their batting order, be it any format and not as per match situation? For example, Maxi came at one down in Australia was Pakistan. World Cup game at India would have kept the same batting order. It's about how stubborn India are, and like you said in your own question, rigid is the word which comes to mind 100%. Vishal Kulkarni saying two RCB players, Paji, I think because you named Gale and De Villiers there, so clearly Vishal being a fan of the red. And another question from Adnan saying, Paji, don't you think the T20 World Cup has a lot of luck involved? Pakistan played the 2022 final because they got lucky. Netherlands beat South Africa, which helped Pakistan. But this time around, it won't come down to luck, right? Because it's a bigger tournament. So
It would
I
still be. See, it does, like, sport does
it
involve
won't,
luck.
but it won't be as toss dependent like the UAE were. I mean, when Aaron Finch had
No,
literally the,
I am not. I don't think I will ever see a cricket tournament being as toss dependent as that one. Oh, that's a very good save. I don't think I will see something like that again in cricket where toss literally was deciding the result. Uh, you need luck anyway in life or in sport. I just think in T20 the shorter duration probably uh, makes the luck factor a lot more impactful than what it would do in a test match or a ODI game.
Okay. Interesting thoughts there. Let me know how many of you guys agree with Gurkirat in the chat as well. And please like this video. All you guys, 68 if you're all watching, but just some 57 likes. Who are the 11 culprits out there who hasn't pressed like? And please do so because it helps with the algorithm. And we're going to be here not just on Sunday, but also doing fan camps for the final watch along for India Afghanistan. And I'm sure Virat Kohli will be playing that. And there'll be a lot of RCB fans. And if you are outside the Chinnaswamy, do catch us then. Gurkirat, did you expect Travis Head could explode so much in international cricket from 2021? Asked Tiger Rhodes. Random, but quickly, Baji.
No, his rise in the last 2 years is something that I don't think many would have thought would happen. I know a Twitter user though who's been very confident and backed him. His in fact at some point of time his username was Travis Head Era. He's changed that username, but yeah, I did not think it could have been short.
Oh, shot.
Okay, what a shot that is. Jitesh, and remember, Jitesh knows this ground pretty well because he plays for the Punjab Kings in it. And the fact that if he can just come up with a nice 30-40 cameo to see India over the line, it will be good. Who will sit out tomorrow saying air is stuck? I think when Kohli comes back in the scheme of things, I think Dube will sit out, unfortunately, even though he bowled 2 overs.
I strongly
And
feel it will be Tilak Verma. I felt
will
that
it
from
be?
the
Yeah,
But
it could
it's
really happen if Dube outscores Tilak Verma today.
he's already done it, right?
yeah, and Sahil and Jaideep saying Jitesh, Jitesh in the comments indeed. And it makes you think about that for sure. 81 for 3, 9.4. So India really have it in their fist, so to speak. Chun Chun Keluga, I'll take your comment and the rest as well. But now that we have these boys with us and we wanted to do during the halftime show, favorite Rahul Dravid memories, boys, because it's his birthday, and then we can get the chat also to come up with some of the memories. It could be on the field, off the field, any innings you've liked, anything, basically why you remember Dravid and what is the standout couple of memories. Gurkirat, you want to go first here, or should we give
Yeah,
it to
one
Somesh?
one memory is from the 2011 tour to England. It's not it's got nothing to do with his batting. So after the final test match, there was a man of the series award being given for the Indian team and for the English team. And when Rahul Dravid was given the man of the series award, he goes up, Michael Atherton asks him, Rahul, where do you think the the Indian team suffered? What all went wrong? What do you think really hampered India? And he replies, "Well, this could take half an hour for me to answer." So that one answer from Rahul Dravid I haven't forgotten. And then he gave a very serious answer of how Zahir Khan getting injured and then batters being out of form, etc., played a part. But just that wittiness in that moment when you've lost so badly, and when you are the number one ranked side, that is uh, one thing that I really liked about him. And then uh, it was in 2007 again in England, the ODI series. India had won the Test series, which was the first time, I think, after, not the first time, but I think it was after 1971 that India had won a Test series in England. But in that ODI series, Rahul Dravid batted very very well at number five. There were a couple of innings where, uh, you know, I think he had a 92 in some 60 odd balls in Bristol. It was probably the
And
second
he
ODI.
played he played one of the most exquisite shots over.
Yeah,
Uh,
square drive for a six
oof,
to score
too
broad.
good. One of the most flattest sixes. So was
So
that one
yeah,
of the standout moments for you?
so there were two innings like that, and I genuinely think, because I can't recall a lot of 2003 2004 because I was young and I was still getting to understand sport. But 2007 in England in ODI series is, I think, the best I have seen Rahul Dravid bat in ODIs. I thought he was outstanding as a batter in that series, as an ODI batter. And there was also the 22 ball 50 versus New Zealand. I think Even, maybe Sumesh can correct me. I think it was in Gwalior, or was it in Cuttack?
I don't remember the venue, but I remember watching the game live. I'm not very good with venues,
Yeah.
especially for the white ball
So,
games.
so there have been those memories.
Yeah. I
That
remember
was
New
actually
Zealand opening with Chris Nevin and Agarkar getting him with a banana Yorker.
that actually came in Hyderabad, Gurkirat. The one that you're talking about, the 22 ball 50 that Dravid enjoyed. It was in
Old stadium, not the new one.
Yeah, it was the Lal Bahadur Shastri Stadium. Absolutely spot on. Vikramaditya going on to say Adelaide 2003 backfoot square cut to win the game. Absolutely, I agree with that. Akhtar versus Dravid battle, RK Crick Talk. So, what was yours? Because mine was something similar to what Ashutosh Bajpayee was saying. Slip catching of Dravid was absolutely brilliant. I mean, to supersede the likes of Mark Ward, Mele Jayawardene in Test is brilliant. The one that he took off, I think, Dale Steyn in that tour of 2010, it was in
11,
South Africa,
2011,
11 of
Cape Town.
Harbhajan Singh, brilliant towards the wrong end, great catch.
Yeah.
My favorite Dravid innings, I don't know.
If
I'd
I'm not
probably say
wrong, that was
233.
also Dravid's 200th catch in
Yeah.
Tests.
The same game, in fact, the 233 he scored at Adelaide, he took an absolute blinder slip to get rid of Steve Waugh, Martin it was, of Sachin's bowling. I
Yeah,
think
Sachin
one of
got
those.
Steve out in the second innings. Yes.
But yeah, so I'm coming to you then. What is your favorite Dravid moment?
I mean, a lot to pick from. Of course, I mean, Kolkata 2001 has to be there. Then Adelaide, to, matlab, it's one of my favorite test wins because tab se, I mean, for me, that was the turning point in Indian cricket when they realized that because beating Australia was a very big deal back then. And India competed in that test series. And if an extra day could have been added to the Sydney test, India would have won the series. So, the best thing about Rahul Dravid was, I mean, he was such a great partnership batter. I mean, look at the two partnerships he had with one with Tendulkar, one with Ganguly in ODIs, and then the two partnerships with Lakshman. So overall, I mean, so many to pick from, but I'll pick Adelaide as my personal favorite. But I'll never forget what Rahul Dravid said over the moment he knew that he had to retire. Was I think when he dropped the catch at the slips, and he was like, that was the moment that I realized that, oh, this was a sitter. I dropped it. It's time for me to go. And in Indian cricket, I don't think anyone comes close to Dravid and Lakshman in terms of timing their retirement, which is also a very important thing because it is very difficult to not overstay your welcome in Indian cricket, as we are increasingly finding out. So to be able to be that headstrong to do that is another one of commendable traits of Rahul Dravid.
No, absolutely. I think well summed up from both of you all with regards to your stories and instances. And Sanjay also going on to say nothing can beat that 2001 Kolkata test, which people remember for VVS and the
Just to
selflessness. Spot
just to
on.
add on that retirement bit, the when both Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman called it quits, the next two test matches were in Hyderabad and Bangalore.
Yeah.
So it was right there on the platter for both of them, for Lakshman to play the Hyderabad test and Dravid to stay till the end of the series, but both didn't.
Hmm. And obviously, lots of other fans would be like, yeah, you know what, his Multan 194, him calling the declaration, or for example, him throwing the cap on the ground in terms of other Dravid moments generally. But we'll try to pick out the positives ones because it's his birthday. But uh, look, hopefully, he can really win something as a coach as well, which will further enhance his reputation. But what a batter!
He got his double hundred with a six, right? Hooking Gillespie.
Yeah.
No, it was the 100.
Was
He
a
was
hundred?
on he was on
Oh, I
98.
saw. Yeah.
He was on 98, and then he played that hook or
But just the
pull.
fact, the best stat about Rahul Dravid ever, I think, is the fact that he's faced the most balls in Test match cricket. It just
Awesome.
goes to sum up the man and how he
I,
absorbed
if
adversity, pressure.
Anirudh can check it probably, but I think Caught Dravid bowled Kumble and Caught Dravid bowled Harbhajan. Both has happened 50 times, and I think Caught Dravid bowled Kumble is 55 times, which is same as Caught Jayawardene bowled Muralidharan. If Anirudh could check it.
No, no, the Murli Jayawardene one is way more than them. So even I was checking the same thing. Dravid Kumble, it's a good one that you mentioned over there because
But
they
both
do
are
have most.
Caught Dravid bowled Kumble and Caught Dravid bowled Harbhajan is both more than 50. That I'm sure of.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm, I'm pretty sure you know the story of what happened later on about this Scott Dravid bowled Kumble thing.
No.
Yeah.
I think when
Wh-
Kumble, so I can be partly wrong, but overall gist will be what it happened. I think Kumble, after the birth of Kumble's child, Dravid messaged him saying that hope caught Dravid bowled Kumble continues in the next generation as well. To which Kumble replied, "No, this time I wanted to be caught Kumble bowled Dravid because of the higher adulation that the batters tend to get in our country."
Yeah, Kumble being cheeky over there. But yeah, some good points mentioned from you, Som and Gurkriya, with regards to Rahul Dravid and him turning wiser, just reminiscing and taking a stroll down memory lane. Remember, lots of other things which could have caught your eye. Let us know in the chat. I mean, I know there's a weird Pepsi advertisement about Rahul Dravid. I know people are talking about the Cred advert. Go check out Rahul Dravid Pepsi advertisement and it'll blow your brain off. I mean, there was also a good old Gillette campaign back in 2003 with all the iconic sportsmen from the world, and Dravid was
I
just
remember. I remember.
Rahul
with
Dravid
Uh,
was the
Henry,
first ever
Federer.
recipient of the ICC Cricketer of the Year award as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
2005.
well
So
done.
that ad was Federer, Dravid, Henry, and Tiger
Tiger
Woods.
Woods.
Yeah, what an absolute awesome foursome indeed. By the way, just coming
Three
back
of
to the
which
game
still
here.
remain to be legends.
I mean, all of them are. All of them are, dude. Come on, for sure. And I'm from Bangalore. In fact, fun story here. My first ever interview as a journalist was Rahul Dravid. It was a school tournament. We asked him, and I said, Rahul, nothing really slanderous. Obviously, I was representing a news channel there, but I asked him about sport, and I was so nervous. But what a man, what a legend indeed. Nissan Jam, don't forget, think Cricket Talkies. And why Dravid, as captain, was liked by Chappell will be a mystery to me forever, dude like no one saying Ashutosh Bajpai. And my favorite story is still calling that draw, saying Vikas Shukla. Indeed. Right. Thank you for that particular little segment. And that'll work well in social media as well. So, boys, do what you guys have to do because India are trying to do what they have to do themselves. 64-51 right now. Jitesh has looked good for his 8 ball 11. And not to forget Shivam Dube. Now, guys, if Dube does go on to score a 50-60 not out here, does he still get dropped when Virat comes back in Indore?
Don't ask me. For me, he was playing irrespective because
Uh,
at the bigger picture, you need someone in place of Hardik
Short,
Pandya.
short,
because so
short.
far, the
He
only thing
hits
that
so
he's
hard.
not done right, Shivam Dube, is that drop catch. Apart from that, given the ball 2 overs, none for nine, 25 ball 33 so far, consolidated. So Gurkirat will maybe Gill go and bite the bullet. So Jaiswal, Rohit, then Kohli, and then they stick to what we've seen 4, 5,
Could
6, 7,
happen.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Could happen. See, anyway, if Kohli was also available and Jaswal was not ill, then I don't see how Gill was playing in the 11.
Sahil saying Tilak would make way.
Actually, folks tell me that they were planning
Oh,
to.
This should have been caught, but the player lost the ball.
yeah. Yeah, so
So
what
the
were you
plan
saying?
was for Gill to bat at three in this game anyway, even if Jaiswal would have been fit.
Yeah, yeah, because Kohli was not there.
Hmm.
That is true. One more from Chun Chun Kilyunga. Question to Paji. Rituraj Gaikwad looks insecure when he plays in international as compared to IPL where he looks a different player. Is it because of no security in his place?
See, I don't think that's the case in T20s, but in ODIs he's also not got a fair run. And even if there is some truth to it, you really can't fault him because you know he's not.
Short.
No, but I'm saying he genuinely has his finger broken right now. That's why he's not part of the squad. Otherwise, you would see him part of the squad, maybe not the 11, because of that 123 that he got. Yeah, that can't go futile.
No,
That
no.
can't go in
In this
vain.
squad, how would you fit him with
He would
Virat,
have been in the
Rohit?
squad अगर कोहली पहले ही बता देता कि he is available only for the 2-3. Then Gaikwad would have been there in the squad for the first game.
But when you have Rohit, Kohli, Gill, and Yashasvi, how do you bring in Gaikwad in the squad? It's
Yeah.
I
not
agree
possible.
with you, but that 123, at least has he
See
gotten
the
above Gill a
injury,
little bit?
the injury to him made the task for selectors easier.
Exactly. But if
So
he was available, I feel like Gill would have sat out and Gaikwad would have been the backup.
no, I doubt it.
No?
I doubt it because this management has shown that they rate Gill, and
Yeah,
when both have been in the squad, they've not played a shot
short
How
for
did
them.
that,
Jitesh.
that fly? Matlab, that was just awesome timing, yeah.
Brilliant, Jitesh. 22
Avnish,
of
there's
10
a
so
stat
far.
that has come in, and you can read it.
Okay, I'll read the stat indeed. Goes on to say unwanted Rohit records, and we'll just put it up part of the banner. So we'll showcase that to the rest of the people in the ticker as well. Now, unwanted, yeah, here we go. Unwanted Rohit records. Five, Duck as India's skipper, the most after Virat, who has three. Then nine, in terms of Ducks as an opener, T20 International, the joint most, second most with Dilshan after Paul Sterling, who has 13. And 11, Ducks in T20. Oh, shot. Most by an Indian generally, because Rohit has batted quite all over the place. The
गई ही
next
नहीं थी,
most is
मुझे
KL.
लगा ये चंडीगढ़ मेन मार्केट में गई है.
And then 16, Ducks in all T20s as captain, the most by any player. And then 51 single digit scores in T20 international, the most by any player in the next format, the next most Nabi. So obviously not a good day for Rohit in terms of numbers, but more great numbers like that available on cricket.com. And if you are liking our content, do comment in the live chat and like this video because it helps with the algorithm. Please give us 100 likes. If you like how Jitesh Sharma is batting right now, please like the stream. If you like the fact that Somesh has popped on to watch along after forever, like this video. And if you like Gurkira's blazer right now, like this video. The million of reasons to like this video, but just please like it nonetheless. Love Jitesh's intent, but in the end, he'll be replaced by KL. I don't think so. I don't want it to be because KL, of course, is doing so well in the other two formats. And Jitesh is really, really taking his chance well. He'll come back for two surely there. They're milking it right now. India need 49 from 45, and the game should be getting over very quick. By the way, I don't know who said 10:08. I think it was Jagmeet Singh Oberoi who said when the game will get over. Let us know in the chat when do you think the game will get over? Do you agree with Jagmeet 10:08 or do you think it'll go after that? Ashutosh Bhatwa saying miss Dube's bowling. Thoughts good option for an injury prone Hardik. That's what Somesh was saying earlier. But what do you feel, Som? The fact that Dube has got a gig and he's making it count.
See, the point is, you just need someone who can bowl अगर जरूरत पड़े तो. It's not like Dube would be an out and out bowler for you. It's more of a sixth bowling option. You'll have four proper bowlers and then Sundar and Dube if Hardik is not around to just
Okay.
bowl a couple of overs.
I
Okay.
also have a like one thing I also want to sort of add here is that I feel uh, Hardik's becoming like Hardik adds more value with the ball than with the bat in T20s, given how he's been batting.
I
So
agree.
if Dube is there, can he there? I won't be surprised if he adds more value with the bat than what Hardik does because Hardik's hitting against spin has gone down by a decent enough margin. I mean, there was a time. See, Hardik's never been someone who's moved his feet a lot. I mean, even if you look at all the clips or sixes hit by Hardik, most of them have been from the crease. And now, what spinners have started to do him is that bowl him outside the line of the stumps, which makes it very difficult for him to hit it straight. So his bat turns and he goes more towards covers or mid off, and he's been out like that a couple of times. And my shadi mein nahi ja raha, I have come from work. I've not gotten a chance to change.
Yeah, but good points. Yeah, Hardik, I completely agree with his batting powers on the wane, and I don't know whether that anchoring thing which he did with GT has helped him or not. Venki Iyer also told I'm focusing in bowling as well, saying okay, cricket talkies, Dube will vanish like Venki Iyer once Hardik comes back. People are saying, and Sanjay has a question for both of you all. One question to the panel: if KL goes back to his 2018 explosiveness in the middle, whom do you prefer as a wicketkeeper for the World Cup? Is it KL? Is it Jitesh? Is it Sanju? Is it Ishan Kishan?
I don't think Sanju is in the scheme of things. I don't think Kishan will be in the scheme of things either because he will mostly bat at the top or in the top three. KL, if he does have a 450 to 500 run kind of a season at a strike rate of 140, I'm confident that he will replace Jitesh in the squad.
You're saying
Uh,
450, 500 season run as an opener or as
As a
a.
number five.
Middle order. As
As
an
a number
opener, no chance. As an opener, there should not be any debate. Uh, a lot of it will also come down to how well Jitesh has done. Like if Jitesh has a 350 run kind of a season,
No, but Gurkirat, right now we're sitting here in January, but come March, April in the IPL, would you actually take your hat off for KL Rahul and be like, Areva, he's actually doing what we want him to do for the country in his franchise, giving himself a chance, unlike someone like Sanju, who actually should probably bat himself slightly lower down for Rajasthan.
so
Because
that is what I'm saying. Sanju will not make it to the squad. Sanju's not making it to the squad, and it is relative. It is relative in the sense, say if Jitesh has a horrible IPL and he scores only 200 runs and he doesn't really have enough credit in the bank, and KL scores 400, 450, then not only you or the selectors, then most people will feel like, okay, might as well take KL.
For
Okay, so it is relative in the sense it depends upon who performs how. If KL says has a IPL like what Pant had in 2018, 650 runs at a strike rate of 160, 170 with an average of 40 or 45 plus, it's going to be difficult for anyone to leave him out then, because he also has credit in the bank. He's been the sort of a senior player. So yeah, what Jagmeet is saying, I tend to agree with that. But if Jitesh says has 400 runs and despite being ahead in the pecking order, if he then gets left out, then you will feel, yeah, he's been unfairly treated.
what can work against KL is the venue, because he has to play 7 games in Lucknow. So they might not be able to pull up numbers to justify his inclusion.
all
Gone.
Gone.
gone. Jitesh gone, but a brilliant 20 ball 31. Well done, Jitesh Sharma. And again, trying to finish off the game really quickly. And unfortunately, we'll see some Rinku fireworks hopefully right now. Ashutosh going on to lend his thoughts saying Langa and Goenka are no joke. If the team wants KL to open, he'll have to open.
But if he's opening, then he can bid his T20 place for India goodbye for the
No,
time being.
true. I just want to like obviously hypothetically assume because this will be another spanner in the works. Gurkirat, question probably more for you here because you're a Delhi Capitals fan. If Pant comes back, hale and hearty, kills it in the IPL, keeps and kills it, would you take him for the World Cup then?
You'll have to define what killing here is.
So he bats at four, okay, bats at four, average of 40, strike rate of 145 plus, and about 380 runs in the season.
Again, relative to how others do. And, and for me, Pant is not in the conversation right now, honestly. uh, because see the kind of accident that he had and how long of a layoff he's had. He scores 300 runs, at an average of 30 and a strike rate of 130. You'd look at the long term picture and say, okay, you know for someone who's coming back after 18 months from an accident like that, you'll take it because that gives you hope for the future. I am not looking at Pant as someone who could make it to the squad, because uh, he's not going to be in the scheme of things for test matches as well. He'll play in the IPL, and the talks are that he might play as an impact sub. So I am not considering Pant. Uh, but if he does have, say, a 500, 600 run season and he plays like someone who's never had that accident, then who knows? But practically, I'm not looking at Pant as someone uh, who will be, in the scheme of things. And if he's batting in the top three, then it anyway makes no sense.
And also, if
Hmm.
he's not keeping, then the argument is closed before it even
That's
starts.
why I said keeping also he does well, and then of course contributes to the bat.
Well,
That
it's very difficult and unfair to ask
Yeah.
that of him right now.
yeah. Kanan saying, did Jitesh really play according to the match situation in this innings? I think he did. 20 ball 31. I mean, just he's made it really comfortable for Rinku
No,
Dube to get the win
I think
secured.
the the one time where India really, or the time by which India really needed a fit Rishabh Pant, at least the fit enough batter Rishabh Pant would be the Australian tour later this year.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping that he is on the plane to that tour. So
yeah.
that will really
100.
make India's 11 very strong.
I mean, you brought up the whole test chat, and there are lots of people spamming us in the chat about tests, about question like this. Will Rajat Patidar get the chance in the
कहाँ
test?
से अभी?
I have no
वो
idea. Because I
where?
think unless Shreyas Iyer fails, and there was another question with regards to the test, Celine, you guys can take that right here because
Short,
But
short.
bad
For
ball,
the
but
Test series against England, if Ishan Kishan plays as wicketkeeper, then who do you think will be left out? That won't be the case because KL is kept in South Africa, so he'll continue to keep for sure. And where was that particular question? Where was it? Where was it? I've not found it, but basically Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul and whether they will feature in the England series, Test series.
they will. They should. Shreyas Iyer is a very important player in that Test series, in my opinion.
This is the one. Considering this management doesn't drop kill, they can play all of them. They'll play Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, Kohli, Shreyas, KL, Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar, Siraj, Bumrah.
Done. Perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. The news is KL will play as a batter against England and Ishan Kishan will keep wickets. I don't know why you're hearing that, Tushar.
Yeah, but ये सब news
Uh,
तो बहुत आता रहता है. We never know till the team is announced at the toss.
Yeah, we can't tell. And I know people say, yeah, KL kept in better conditions, but he'll still be able to keep on Indian pitches for sure. As per some news agency, KL will be playing as a special batter against England. Again, rumors. Do not hear these false news. If you want to hear genuine, authentic,
A lot of these
.com.
news agencies are like Avnish talking about me. Don't believe it. As long as
I'm
it
just
comes
talking
from
about
me.
food or Kohli.
No, talking about me. Kohli, chalo, emotion hai. Your food opinions are all right, but the stuff that you say about me, that's nowhere close to true.
Because it's all true.
None of it is true.
I've okay. Let me see. Okay, in the past, I've called you a very fashionably late guy. That's true. A guy who
I was
loves
on
his
time
food.
today. I
That's
was on
true.
time today. I joined at 6:55. You messaged at 6:53.
Okay, fair enough. A guy who loves his food. That's not true. That's true.
मेरी गाड़ी में कुछ नहीं होता. The stuff that you said about that.
A guy who loves Punjabi music and Somesh also loves Punjabi music, right? So you're a huge fan.
I actually don't
Like,
know. Like,
Avnish is making it very easy for people to not agree to things that he says. Although, of course, no
Sorry,
one knows whether
just
I
a
love
little
it,
bit.
genuinely love it or not. Which I am not a big fan of Punjabi music, just to make it very clear. But yeah,
That'll be interesting to talk
this is
about music.
the point of tiff between me and my wife, who is absolutely loves and lives for Punjabi music.
Or this man on the screen here, Gurkirat also loves and lives for Punjabi music, bro. Like he was just like, I'm going to be DJ. It's
I
my
see.
car. I'm calling the rules.
I find it a tad repetitive, and still looking for someone who can actually guide me in a direction where it doesn't seem very repetitive.
yeah, so the kind of Punjabi music that I listen to or hear to is not what is really, out there right now. Like, I'll be very honest, I'm not a fan of the AP Dillons or, Ojla and all these guys
Or
or
Shub,
Shub.
Shub.
Yeah, I'm more of a Amrinder Gill, Diljit Dosanjh, Satinder Sartaaj kind of a guy. So that's my taste. A lot of the modern day Punjabi music, even I don't make sense of it because a lot of it does sound repetitive in terms of the tunes. A lot of these guys are using auto tune very liberally, and the storyline also in all of these songs are very similar. That the girls, the girl is sophisticated, the guy is a pendu, and if the girl is driving a car, the guy will prefer to drive a tractor. Same hi hai wo sara, and there's this competition about who's going to drink more, etc., etc. So yeah.
Okay. By the way, just getting back into the game then, India 130 for 4. Remember, Shivam Dube is closing on a 50 in the T20 international scheme of things. Has he got a 50 before? I think he has. I think his highest score is
He did
54.
West Indies. I think in 2019 West Indies, you got a 50.
Yeah, so let's see how much the 25-year-old cricketer gets this time around. Also, if you guys are not following right now because you're watching the India game, check out for all the latest scores and updates from the SC20 League on cricket.com because MI Cape Town are playing the Durban Super Giants right now. And Ryan Rickleton, who's batting for MI Cape Town, is absolutely hammering it. Deval Brevis, unfortunately, didn't get going tonight, but we can see some action with regards to all the SC20 and some written pieces as well to come out from it on cricket.com. 5 overs left, 131 for 4. And Dube now is just going to be looking to tee off and finish proceedings here. He's got a boundary of Naveen's
So
first ball of the 16th over.
this comment by Jagmeet. Now, there was a time when there were a lot of fan theories about Game of Thrones and whatnot. अब भाई तुम 50-60 theory बना दोगे. One of them is bound to be right? मतलब writer भी क्या अलग क्या कर लेगा? And this is the same thing with news agency. You'll give out 25 different scenarios. One of them is bound to be right. The fact is the real fact checking in modern times is actually how many times they've got it wrong.
But that's also universally, right? In any sport, when you watch it, journalists, I mean, football journalists get so much shit wrong, but they just want to create the hype. Obviously, like, transfer rumors, this, that.
Everyone wants numbers, right? कि भाई क्लिक्स चाहिए कैसे आएंगे बोल दो कि किसान किशन ड्रॉप हुआ था क्योंकि वो ब्रेक मांग के पार्टी कर रहा था भाई ब्रेक मांग के इंसान पार्टी नहीं करेगा तो क्या करेगा फिर घर पे बैठे ब्रेक मांग के फिर क्या फायदा ब्रेक का 20-21-22 साल का है भाई वो अभी पार्टी नहीं करेगा तो कब करेगा 42 का हो गया राहुल द्रविड़ 50 और क्लोज टू 50 वो छोले कुलचे खाने से मना कर रहा है क्योंकि कोलेस्ट्रॉल है उसमें मतलब 50 साल की उम्र में इंसान छोले कुलचे नहीं खा सकता 20 साल की उम्र में पार्टी करने दो भाई उसको ब्रेक मांगा है उसने क्या लॉजिक है भाई
Imagine someone's just joining us in this watchalong and they're hearing Somesh rant about this. They'll be like, what is he talking about? Who is he talking about? But just for clarity purposes, rewind the chat and then you guys will know. We spoke about the SC20 Som and Ashutosh has a question for both of you all saying, keeping IPL in mind, guys, do you see the SC20 becoming a feeder competition like the CPL or a more standalone competition like the BBL where the performance doesn't affect the IPL auctions?
I think it is
Yeah.
it is going to sort of become like the BBL. The only difference is the timing of it is such that it happens after the auction. But yes, teams will have a lot of preference, and I said it last time when we were talking about the auctions or the replacements, that which replacements will come in. I remember when Wayne Parnell was brought in as a replacement for David Willey. Oh, no, sorry, Reece Topley for last IPL. I said it is CricViz guys who are working with Bangalore, and if they really want to replace a left arm seamer, they could really go for Wayne Parnell, even though I don't agree with it because it's the same setup, and that's exactly what happened. They went with Wayne Parnell. So it, I see BBL will always have that advantage that it will happen, or it will at least start before the auctions have happened. So there will be that factor, but I think eventually SA20 will become the biggest competitions in terms of getting players from, purely because there are 6 teams who have a team there.
Okay, so I want to give you this one from Jagdish because Cookie has answered that well about what you were talking about, because a lot of people are, of course, jumping on what you've just said, and people are saying, Somesh bhai, relax karo thoda.
I'm relax यार मैंने चढ़ी थोड़ी है
Itna sach bhi gone.
इतना
Answer.
सच नहीं बोलना था बट हाँ ठीक है भाई ज्यादा सच नहीं बोला मैंने सच क्या है भाई कॉमन सेंस है मेरे को तो पता भी नहीं सच एग्जैक्टली है क्या किसी को भी नहीं पता सच क्या होता है सबका अपना अपना ही वर्जन है
And then SVK307 saying faces still being toxic to be honest, but don't get what's wrong with these journalists. And imagine fans getting offended for cricketer enjoying New Year with his brother. Unbelievable. Tiger is saying, Gurkidas, your thoughts on Mayank Yadav of LSG? Do you think the season will be India call-up season for him? Mayank Yadav, I'm guessing.
I think Mayank Yadav has gone to RCB, right? No, that is Mayank Dagar. Sorry, yeah, that is
Mayank
Mayank.
Dagar. Mayank.
Mayank Yadav, I can't say much. I mean,
Right arm, medium fast, right hand bat, 21 years of age. He's played a handful of games, T20s, made 10.
I'll have to be honest and say I've not seen much of him to make that
I
comment.
mean, of all the young players, the one that whose hype I'm looking forward to is Sameer Rizvi.
Yeah.
भाई next सुरेश रैना एकदम बिल्कुल मेरे को देखना है भाई कि
Yeah.
I mean going by CSK's record एक सीजन तो उसे मैच नहीं मिलने वाला नेक्स्ट सीजन जाके एक आध दो गेम मिलेंगे फिर जाके पता चलेगा कि वो who is he.
But do you think Sameer Rizvi is a direct replacement for Raidu?
Difficult to say at this point of time.
As in, like, Palna Posna hai, but like that vibe.
Could be, but difficult to say at this point of time.
Because even apparently in that UP league, it's well documented that he likes to just go straight away gung ho. But obviously, playing for CSK, playing in the IPL is a different nature of the beast already. Keep your questions coming through. I share for the next 10, 12 minutes or so, I'm guessing. It depends how quick Rinku finishes it
Oh,
Shot.
with
yeah,
shots like that. It's not all about power, it's about precision and deft touch at times, indeed. Mayank, D has a different meaning. Avnish should be aware of it. Yes, I know I made that slanderous remark,
अबे
which
तेरे से ऐसी वाइब क्यों होती है सभी को अवनीश?
no,
Why?
because you know what? In Canada, Mayank Dagar, I mean, Dagar is his name, but Dagar means prostitute. So apparently it's a Dagar, which apologies, Mayank, if you're watching the show. Is Nishant Sindhu a like for like Jadeja option for CSK? Only time will tell. I mean, Rajvardhan Hangagekar hasn't played a single game for them, has he?
No,
He
no,
played
he
one.
did. He played.
Right, played one. He
He
Played
played one.
played.
1 or 2 games.
He played 2, 3 games last
He
season.
didn't play any in the first season. He played a couple of games in the second season.
Yeah, he
Oh, yeah.
started. He started the season for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Tanmay Agrawal asking, so I'm guessing, Agrawal, what's your opinion on Dube's game against Pace in this game? If I have calculated correctly, he scored at around 150 in this game against
He has
Pace.
guessed it absolutely right. His strike rate against pace in this game has been
158.
157.9 or 158, and against spin has been around 115. So he's going against the reputation that he's carried so far.
But that's down to some poor pace bowling.
Of course, proper over pitch feeder bowling machine bowling.
Guys, what do you make of Anonymous's comment? Because with regards to Jitesh, yes, a 20 ball 31 tonight looks really good. He's also kind of got other starts in previous T20 internationals. But if he really wants to make it count, he has to get the game done, or do you beg to differ?
I
See,
think it's about the. Okay, Gupta, you go ahead.
this is where the team management has to really make that call that okay, he may not be finishing games, but he's making things easier for the ones who are going to
One
follow him.
second, sorry, just 50 for Dube. Well done. Who would have thought Shivam Dube, we're going to be seeing a fucking 50 from him? Honestly, let alone play it. Sorry. Apologies. I mean, Shivam Dube is a good player, but like the fact that we never thought that he will start today, let alone score a
भाई
50 is
यार
what I'm saying.
तूने 11 पूछा ही नहीं. मैं बता के बैठा. मेरी 11 में तो था. He was always in my 11 for this series.
We'll
For the
end with
reason
that,
that
but we'll end with that for sure. But yeah, Gurkit, I'll just finish up and then I'll give Somesh a question.
Yeah, so y- see what Anonymous has said is true because that is how players have been selected. You've not
Hmm.
really looked at impactful contributions, but you've looked at the final figure and the final picture. So this is where the management needs to be smart enough and realize he may not have finished games, but he's made the task easier for the ones who are to follow him. And I feel that's good enough. As long as you're making the task easier, it's a team game at the end of the day. Your job is to make the task easier for the others who are to follow. If you finish it, well and good, but not on all days you can finish it. And if he was looking to finish it, then you will not get that high intent, right? Because then he could have taken his own sweet time, and then the criticism would have been, oh, he's not showing a lot of intent. So can't be both ways. Let's hope game finishes off in this over. 11
Absolutely.
runs today.
So,
So
so let's
just to
have it. Your
turn the
11.
table here to answer this
Okay.
question. Now
Okay.
imagine if this would have been a first innings, not a second.
Hmm.
It's given that this is a second innings, it's absolutely fine to feel कि भाई he could have finished it, and it would have been an easier job. उसको छक्का मारने की जरूरत नहीं थी. The required rate was close to 7. He could have nudged and nudged his way to the finish. But what is the problem that Jitesh Sharma is solving? Now, if this would have been the first innings, the way he batted is exactly the way to play.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're not finishing. You have to build towards something. And this is where again we'll have to go back to the discussion that we were having about Tilak Verma and Shivam Dube as well after Gill and Rohit were dismissed. That while chasing, it's fine to sort of be behind the run rate, but while batting for it, it's very difficult. And that is where you have to take a call. Okay, bhai, we have lost 2 wickets.
Shot.
Again, proper juicy half volley, but yeah, you have to put those away. So this is where you need to assess कि भाई 2 wicket गिरे हैं. One of them is a run out. So are conditions difficult? If not, irrespective of 2 wickets fallen, we have to go for it. And that is the place where India have actually struggled. And this is where I feel that Jitesh should be given that liberty कि भाई irrespective of first innings and second innings, you play your game. Because you will be a lot more helpful for us in the first innings if you keep playing with the same intent.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jitesh, look, let's see how he grabs the other two T20 internationals as opportunities here because India are going to win this with one shot away. And Dube, by the looks of things, will probably be getting a good 60 not out, his highest score for India in a T20 international. He's already overtaken that right now. Avinash Kumar going on to say about that particular KL story, saying that news of KL playing as a batter and Ishan as a keeper is reported by a famous cricket website, that too by a very senior, credible journalist, not by the agency. And like Som and
Who
Gurkirat
has
said, like,
reported it?
who's
I'm not
reported
up
it?
to date. I
Tell
just
us
want
in
to
the
know.
comments. Please tell us the name. We'll, of course, won't hold back. Meanwhile, two
I
more
think
things
see,
before we wrap up.
if that happens, it's bad news for Shubman Gill because that's the
Hmm.
only spot which I feel is open right now.
Okay. Two more things before I conclude, and of course, India conclude. One is man of the match, guys, because Max Bojo saying Dube, Pratik Patel saying Akshar makes sense. I would probably say Dube because he's been in the wilderness for a while. So maybe just the fact that, and he played a very adaptive situation, you could say. And then Som, now with your 11, T20 World Cup. Gurkirat gave me his. Give me yours, with the clause being hypothetical picks are allowed. Yuva Agarkar / BCCI all in one together.
Jaiswal opening with Kohli. Sky 3, Hardik 4. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Sky 3, Hardik 4, Rinku 5, Jitesh 6, Aksar 7, Sundar 8, Bishnoi 9, Bumrah and Ashdeep.
Short.
Okay, so no Siraj.
Game done.
In the squad, maybe. Yeah, that's game 7 match.
Well done. And what a way to end this first T20 international watch along with a quite brilliant team that's picked up by Som. Let us know in the comments below if you guys agree with his team more or Gurkirat, who named it just when the innings began, the second innings, that is. So rewind and check out what he had to say. India going 1-0 up, and it was inevitable, you felt. And now all roads lead to Indore, not just for Som, but for India and Afghanistan. He's got a Bhopal, actually. Correction over there. Final thoughts, guys. Biggest takeaway from this game and the last 3 hours, 11 minutes?
I mean, Dube being the obvious one. But, I mean, there are question marks about Akshar's bowling ability, but it's good to see him having a good game. Mukesh had a decent game. Bishnoi had a decent game. So, all in all, a good game for India. But yeah, still, I mean, question marks remain about Tilak Verma because he has been tried in a few different spots and still he looks slightly undercooked. He gives you those wow shots, but he's yet to give a wow innings. I mean, for a while. I'm not saying he's never done it. I think during the West Indies tour, he did have a couple of good innings, but since then, we have been waiting for a wow innings. And even during the IPL, he was injured and Nehal Vadera replaced him. So it has been a while since Tilak Verma put together a solid knock overall.
Absolutely. And Jagmeet, you were very close. You said 10:08, but it was 10:06. It's 10:08 right now, but so close, but no cigar, like I've said multiple times on this show. Gurkirat, as always, final show with you, my brother. How do you rate India's performance? And do you think any changes? What will those changes be? Who gets injured to play for Kohli? For Kohli to play.
Uh, yeah, I think Gill and Tilak will go out. Jaswal and Kohli will come in.
Okay, we see.
I just have a very ill feeling that Jaiswal will continue to remain injured.
Or ill. Or
Injured.
ill.
All eyes, of course. Lots of fans are talking about this. Gill and Rohit, and of course, something to come out of there. But I just think, look, we've seen it multiple times in different formats. Batters do argue. Of course, they'll get over it as well. Right. Something that you guys can definitely check out in terms of cricket.com, our YouTube, our Instagram, and our X page, because there's lots of things buzzing, everything with regards to cricket, not just the video stuff, but stats, creatives, numbers, and articles as well. Gurkirat, Som, you guys have been absolutely brilliant. Gurkirat, I'll see you on Sunday. Am I seeing you on Sunday? Am I
No,
seeing
Sunday
both of
you're
you?
doing offline, no?
Oh, yeah, correct. So Sunday,
17.
Gurkirat and Somesh are not going to be there. It's going to be me and Akshay from the studio. And then after that, I think Nix
17th.
will be there for the third one as well. So brilliant stuff. And yeah, Somesh Bhai is next level. That's why we ask him to keep coming for all the shows. And it's not the final show of this one. There are two more with regards to the watch-alongs.
No, he's
Gurkirat,
asking what are you doing about the final show. So second is offline. Third is I think we're back online.
third, we're back online because I don't know. I think I might have to do it online from office because I have to do fan cams after as well. We'll keep you posted nonetheless. Follow us on social media. And of course, follow Som on Twitter and Gurkirat and his. We'll leave their handles in
मेरे
the
को आज
description.
ट्विटर पे लोग फॉलो नहीं गाली देने वाले हैं आफ्टर द
अरे मेरे को
स्निपेट
तो अभी 2 दिन पहले फॉलो हो के गाली पड़ी है.
Oh, for
क्या
sure.
बोलूं?
And yeah, Mohammed Arsan, great point. Really made us think about a lot of things. 53, if you're still available, please like this. Please like this video, and then we'll log off. And yeah, indoor RAO, you guys can figure that out later. I have to definitely go get some dinner. Kudos, brilliant team India, brilliant Shivam Dube. We'll leave it there. Goodbye, Som and Gukirat. Catch you all soon. Enjoy the weekend because it's worth it.